It's time for Avon Varsity Football on Audio Sports Online. Tonight's game is brought to you by McDonald's, the Hendricks County Flyer, Reynolds Body Shop, Legends Pub and Grill, McNamara Floors, the Payroll Department, Avo BMO Harris Bank, and Citywide Paving. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Avon Varsity Football on Audio Sports Online. My name's Brian Scott. So glad you could join us tonight. I'll be joined shortly by the Indiana Football Hall of Famer, Dave Shelbourne. We are back at Avon High School tonight, Hendricks Regional Health Stadium. It is homecoming night here at Avon High School, and the Avon Orioles looking for their third win in a row. They will be taking on the Bronchos from Lafayette Jefferson High School. Coach Shelbourne and I will be back right after this, tell you about tonight's game. This is Avon Football on Audio Sports Online. Right now at all Avon and Brownsburg McDonald's, you can check out the brand new Mighty Wings. Mighty Wings are hearty bone-in chicken wings that are crispy and breaded with a spicy kick. Available in 3-piece, 5-piece, or 10 pieces, a 3-piece is only $2.99 at all Avon and Brownsburg McDonald's. Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcast. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone is 317-243-2372, and they are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com. Tune in to XRBRadio.com every Friday at 5:30 for the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show. Join me, Brian Scott, for a full hour as I interview coaches and student athletes from Brownsburg and Avon High Schools. You can also watch the taping in person at a McDonald's near you every Wednesday night. Check out the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show broadcast page at XRBRadio.com or AudioSportsOnline.com for store locations.
If you're a business owner, with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. Is it being prepared correctly? Are the right amount of taxes being taken out? What about child support, workman's comp, auditing, unemployment, Social Security, local taxes, payroll deductions? It can be a bit overwhelming, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated. We'll take care of all those payroll headaches and manage any unique deductions that apply to your company. We offer several ways to submit your payroll and provide you with customized timesheets for reporting. The Payroll Department Incorporated, located at 701 North Green Street in Brownsburg.
Brian Scott back at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium at Avon High School as we have the Oriole pregame show here on Audio Sports Online. The Avon Orioles, they're coming off of a huge win last week. They traveled to a very tough place to play at Noblesville, and the Orioles came away with the victory against the Millers by the score of 17-11. For the Orioles, well, it was a bit of a late start for Avon, as Coach Mark Bless said. It took them a little while to get to Noblesville High School, but when they did, they had the ball for the opening kickoff, and they took a long extended drive that Coach Bless pretty much admitted took that Noblesville crowd right out of the stadium, and that ended up helping the Orioles as that game progressed. And I bring in the Indiana Football Hall of Famer, former Avon head coach Dave Shelbourne. And Coach, it was one of those great games that we've seen it all season long, that the Oriole offense, it's been efficient, but it's been this Oriole defense that's been so impressive.
Well, you know, they played very well against an outstanding team. You know, Noblesville came in 4-1, and, you know, it was one of those up-in-the-air kind of games as to who was going to win. And like you said, I drove up there myself, and the game ended up starting 45 minutes later than normal. It was an 8.5-minute drive to open the game for Avon, which did kind of set the tone. Defensively, it was, I felt, by far the best game I've seen the defense play all year. And also, one of their touchdowns came on a block punt and a scoop by Nick Hanlon ran it in for a touchdown. So they were pretty efficient in all three phases of the game. Offensively, again, they were solid, didn't put up a lot of points, but they did control things pretty well. And I really felt the difference. And I had seen Noblesville on film, but hadn't seen them live until the game. But our front line offensively and defensively just dominated. Noblesville has some nice skilled kids. Their quarterback is one of the better quarterbacks in the conference. But our offensive line pretty well dominated things up front. And defensively, they just couldn't keep our defensive front from getting to the quarterback, and they harassed him the entire night and sacked him, I'd say 4 or 5 times. And, they took what's been a very efficient offense for Noblesville this year and really reduced it to nothing.
You talk about that Avon defensive line. Officially, they ended up the game with 7 sacks, 7 quarterback hurries. Coach Bless says, well, officially it's 7 sacks. He might have counted 1 or 2 extra in that, but it was taking care of a very, very good 3-year starter in T.C. McKiernan for the Noblesville Millers, handling him very easily. And when you put pressure on the quarterback, that really makes a big difference for the rest of your game. Let's have our national anthem. A very, very fine rendition by the Avon Glee Club, Youth Glee Club here as we get ready for football here at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium at Avon High School. We talked quickly, recapping last week's game. It was the Avon defense, 7 sacks on quarterback T.C. McKiernan, 7 quarterback hurries. As Coach said, a block punt led to a special teams touchdown as Nick Hanlon scooped it up, got his hands on another punt for the second consecutive week. This time he was able to scoop up the block and run it into the end zone for the touchdown. The Orioles got a long sustained drive early in that game. That led to their only offensive touchdown, and they got a field goal from Niles Edwards as David Shaw and Derek Tennant did most of the damage on the ground. David Shaw, 17 carries for 68 yards. Derek Tennant, 16 carries for 82 yards. Brandon Peter, the sophomore on the night, not spectacular stats-wise, but very efficient. And once again, no interceptions. For young sophomore Brandon Peters, he hasn't thrown an interception since the Westfield game. And on the season, he has done a fantastic job with this offense. 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He has thrown for 818 yards and rushed for a pair of touchdowns. Tonight, they will be facing the Lafayette Jefferson Broncos. The Broncos last week played the Brownsburg Bulldogs, and the Bulldogs, well, they had their way with the Broncos. It was a shutout for the Bulldog defense as they defeated Lafayette Jefferson 28-0. When you look at this Lafayette Jefferson team, it is a team built on speed. They carry 3 players that are all members of Indiana State Championship track teams, including running back Darian Green, quarterback Matt Johnson, and wide receiver Tim Wilson. But last week it was the Bulldogs defense manhandling the Broncos offensive line. That flushed Matt Johnson numerous times, led to 4 interceptions, something the Bulldogs hadn't done all season long. Darian Green, well, he was hurt midway through the first quarter of that game. Didn't see a lot of action, not till late in that game when it was already out of hand. We'll have to see if their talented tailback is going to be able to play in tonight's contest. And, Coach, when the Orioles took a look at last week's game, Phil, I'm sure Coach Bless and his defensive coaches were kind of looking at what the Bulldogs did and taking a few ideas.
Well, I'm sure they did, but at the same time, Avon's defense continues to get better, and they're not complicated in their basic scheme. They don't need to do a lot. I think they're starting to feel more comfortable in the things they do. And last week was our best performance as far as stealing ideas. Lafayette Jeff was one of the first teams in the conference to kind of come in with that wide open offense concept, and there are other teams in the conference doing it, which I think makes it a little easier to prepare each week than it did in the early stages. But Lafayette Jeff has always been known for their offense. I know when I was coaching, we had some really wild games, lots of points being put up. We had a 59-52 game. I think one year we beat them 59-20, and there's the scoreboard's always being lit up. So if Brownsburg last week shut them out, they must have had an outstanding game, because even in the years when their defense struggles, they usually put a lot of points up, and they're usually an exciting team to watch.
This Lafayette Jefferson offense, fairly inexperienced offensive line, though. They do have two of the bigger guys you're going to see on the left side. Chad Brown is 6'2", 290 at left tackle, and Cameron Ulmer is the left guard. He's 6 foot, 345 pounds, but they normally will play basically on the weak side, trying to protect their quarterback, Matt Johnson. Coin toss has been made. It is the Broncos that will open this game, winning the toss, deferring to the second half. So the Orioles, will have the ball to begin this contest. Over the last 15 years, there have been 8 games in this series. Avon is 6-2. It was Jeff kind of pulling the surprise last week. Avon had come off of a couple of nice wins, went to Lafayette Jefferson, and the Broncos came away the winners 30-27. The head coach of the Broncos is Andy Kennedy. He is 14-44 in his 6th year at the helm of Lafayette Jefferson, 23-45 in his 7th year in coaching. And the head coach of the Orioles is Mark Bless, 29-14 in his 4th year at the helm of Avon, 178-81 in his 24th year overall. What did the big win against Noblesville do for the Orioles last week? Well, it moved them back into the top 20 in Class 6A. The Orioles this week enter the polls ranked 15th. They have a record of 3-3. It could easily be 5-1. You look at the losses against Westfield and Fishers, both late-game losses, field goals within the final minute. The Orioles could be 5-1. Instead, they're 3-3. The Broncos 1-5. As we get ready for football here at Avon High School, Hendricks Regional Health Stadium, pull up a chair. We hope you enjoy tonight's contest. Kicking off for the Broncos will be Alex Baker. And back deep for the Orioles be Nick Aitchen and Cress Kimbrough. It is the Broncos in the white, the Orioles in the black. Orioles will be moving left to right to begin this contest as Baker runs up, puts a right foot into it, and this game is underway. And it'll be Kimbrough at the 3. He'll come up to the 10, 15, look for some room, but he's going to go down as Tim Wilson is going to bring him down after Kimbrough is stopped at around the 18-yard line. And the Orioles will begin their first possession right here. Orioles will be led by the 6'4", 185-pound sophomore Brandon Peters. The offensive line is Angelo Allen, Ross Carter, Jake Higginbotham, Zach Ryan, and Ryan Willis. The tight end is Matt Moore. The flanker is Cress Kimbrough. Sam Bloom is the split end. Thomas Hicks, the fullback. David Shaw will get the start at tailback. And Brandon Peters, as I mentioned, is the quarterback. They'll look over what should be a fairly familiar defense for Orioles. They'll look over more like a 3-3 stack, as Peters will start this drive under center. The give is to Shaw. Shaw goes around the left side. He's got some room to the 20, to the 25, 30, and he'll finally run out of bounds at the 35-yard line. It's the pickup of about 17 on the first play of the game.
They came out with a little wrinkle there, too. They were unbalanced that time, thinking that Lafayette Jeff wouldn't recognize it and wouldn't adjust, and they didn't. That's a look that Coach Blest has used in the past. I haven't seen much of it this year, but it looks like it might be a part of the game plan here tonight. I think last week they ran power football pretty well, and looks like we're going to get a heavy dose of it here tonight.
This time Peters will work out of the gun. Got Shaw to his right, bringing in motion Andrew Griffin. And he'll throw back to his left. Tight end Moore has the football up to the 40, to the 45. Eludes one tackler, and finally will be brought down in Broncos territory. Tackle made by Alex Trin, the strong side linebacker. Another good pickup for the Orioles as they are in Bronco territory.
Yeah, right now. I mean, it's only 2 plays, but, Avon's mixed it up a little bit with 1 run and 1 pass. Right now, Lafayette's defense does not appear to be very strong. It'll be interesting to see how we continue the rest of this drive.
We see Andrew Griffin lining up as a wide receiver to the near side. Coach Bless brought him over to the offensive side of the ball in the Brownsburg game. And Coach Bless saying Andrew might have a better hands to be in a receiver for this ball club, as David Shaw just plows right up the gut, and he'll take it down to the Bronco 41-yard line.
Well, heredity is pretty good here. Kendall was an outstanding wide receiver for me when I was coaching. He's a big-time basketball player at Wright State, but had he chosen to go in the other direction, he could be playing anywhere he wants in the country in football as well. So, Andrew comes from good stock.
Cress Kimbrough is the lone wideout, and he will be to the near side of the football field. It is Shaw and Hicks in the eye. Here is Shaw. He'll go right up the gut. He'll be temporarily slowed down by Tanner Collins, but Shaw will still pick up what looks to be close to maybe an Oriole first down.
Yeah, it looks like Lafayette Jeff has already decided that they're going to have trouble sitting in their base defense. They're already got their linebackers up and they're blitzing. And usually when a team blitzes a lot, you're going to see a minus play every now and then. But when you hit the right hole and you block the blitz, you're going to see Avon hopefully here hitting some home runs even with the running game.
Hicks and Shaw in the eye. Ball on
unbalanced
the 38.
Again.
Unbalanced left, but this is Peters. He'll take it himself, and he'll just plow right over his big center, 5'11", 275-pound Jake Higginbotham, and he will get the first down.
Well, it's nice to do that, too, when your quarterback is 6'4", 6'5", and close to 200 pounds. I don't care if he's a sophomore or not. He's an awfully big kid, and quarterback sneak. When you've got less than a yard, he ought to be able to do that almost by himself.
Ball's at the 36-yard line. The Jefferson Broncos, like I said, more of a 3-3 stack across the defensive line. The defensive end is Desmond Williams, the nose guard DeAndre Venters, and Teddy Martin is the other defensive end. The linebackers are Alan Strentown and Collins and Alex Guadalajara. The corners are Sam Collins and Michael Sterner, and the safeties Justin Gordon, Woody Archibald, and Irving Madden. And as this play will not get underway, as a penalty flag will have a legal procedure against the Orioles.
Yeah, a little late getting the play in that time and getting them up to the line of scrimmage. And I'm not sure if David was looking at the 25-second clock as it was starting to kick down. But Avon right now is giving Lafayette Jeff a steady dose of an unbalanced look. And again, at least from what I can see from up here, it doesn't appear that they're adjusting to it very much or very well. So, if that's the case, I'm sure they'll continue with it because they're having lots of success with that formation right now.
It is unbalanced left. Broncos show blitz. It's a play-action pass. Back to pass is Peters. He fires downfield. Cress Kimbrough wide open at the 5, and it's a touchdown for the Orioles. A 41-yard touchdown strike from Brandon Peters to Cress Kimbrough, and the Orioles strike first.
Well, very, very nice throw and catch, but he had all day to throw. A little play-action pass, which certainly helps when you're running the football as well as Avon has here in this first series. But give a little credit to that offensive line. They gave him plenty of time. He was able to sit back there and read the coverage. Cress Kimbrough had time to run his route down the field, and it was a perfect pass, perfect catch.
The point after is good, and with 9:02 left to go in the first quarter, the Orioles lead 7-0. Back with a kick after this is Oriole football on ASL.
Sweet Treats of Avon is closed for remodeling until November 7th. That's when it will reopen under a new look and new name, Chicago's Pizza Express. They're located at Dan Jones and Rockville Road behind CVS Pharmacy in Avon. Find out more on November 7th when Sweet Treats opens up as the new Chicago's Pizza Express. Same great owners, but a whole new look and new menu. We'd like to say thanks to our friends at the Hendricks County Flyer that have helped make tonight's video webcast possible. Please check them out online as well as watch tonight's game at flyergroup.com. We'd also like to thank Citywide Paving for their support of Avon football and our Avon football broadcast this year. Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health provides care for the way you were meant to move. We care for every muscle, bone, and joint in your body to get you back to the activities you love. Get more information online at mymotion360.org. Did you know that Nelson Jewelers in Brownsburg has been serving Hendricks County and the west side of Indianapolis with an extensive selection of finer diamonds and gemstones since 1958? Nelson Jewelers is a family-owned jewelry store specializing in unique jewelry, jewelry repair, appraisals, and watch repair. Nelson Jewelers is conveniently located in downtown Brownsburg, across from the Hendricks County Bank. Visit Nelson Jewelers for all your jewelry needs at 22 East Main Street in Brownsburg and online at www.nelsonjewelers.com. Nelson Jewelers, a little out of the way, very much out of the ordinary.
Orioles kick the ball off. They'll send it short, and it'll be taken by a Bronco up man at the 39-yard line, and that's where the Broncos will start this drive, trailing 7-0 with 8:59 left to go in the opening quarter. Matt Johnson, pickoff. First pass is going to be taken to the house. David Griffith saw it coming all the way and ran it back for the touchdown. Pretty simple game when you can just watch it in and take it to them.
You know, I've made the comment earlier about David Griffith's plays like he's standing in the other team's huddle because he seems to have a nose for where the ball is, and that time he just sat on the route. It was like they knew they were going to run that route and throw the ball to that receiver, and, you know, he caught that ball in stride. He caught it like a receiver and just walked into the end zone.
And this one is blown up, but they will make the two-point conversion as throwing the ball and getting the two-point conversion. Drew Shayatovich, not a good snap, but he fired out, and they get the big tight end over here on the near side, Matt Moore, and they convert it for two. And the two-point conversion means the Orioles lead 15-0. Back with a kick right after this is Oriole football on ASO.
Legends Pub and Grill is located at 1100 North State Road 267 in Avon. They're open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. and on Sunday from noon to midnight. They're Indy's West Side hotspot, having a DJ and dancing on Saturday nights. For more information, check Legends Pub and Grill out on Facebook or call 272-9040.
Well, before we could tell you what about the Orioles touchdown drive, David Griffith adds another touchdown. Here's another short kick as it'll be taken at the 25-yard line by an up man. And
Nick Hanlon with the tackle.
And it's quite obvious as Alex Steffen, who is kicking off in this game, the main thrust is to keep it away from Darian Green. But the Broncos have had one offensive possession. All they have to show for it is a touchdown for the Orioles on an interception. And just like that, it's 15-0 in favor of Avon. I couldn't even give you the Lafayette Jefferson offense. It happened so quickly, but Matt Johnson is the quarterback, a 5'11", 176-pound senior. Darian Green, who was hurt through much of last week's game against Brownsburg with an ankle injury, he is back in tailback as Johnson works out of the pistol. Here's a give to Green. He'll look for some room, and he'll find very little. In fact, he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, last week at this time in the game at Noblesville, Avon was just halfway through their opening drive. They took 8.5 minutes, and, you know, here we are not even 4 minutes into the game, and we've already got two scores up and a 15-point lead.
Offensively for the Broncos, across the offensive line, Chad Brown, Cameron Ulmer, Colton Page, Jerry Moss, Mitchell Becker. It's a spread offense for the Broncos. The wideouts are Tim Wilson and Austin Albrecht. The H-back is Woody Altrabard. Slot man is Justin Gordon. Darian Green, the tailback, and here he is on the carry on a sweep to the outside. He's going to pick up just a couple of yards before he's brought down, and Matt Johnson is the quarterback.
Yeah, I mentioned Avon being in a little bit different formation than what they've shown. Lafayette Jeff is in a little bit different formation as well. They're in what's called a tight bunch formation. They've got three receivers lined up, but they're really almost in a wing T type look, which is a little different for Lafayette Jeff because they're usually in four wide, spread out pretty far, or even five wide receivers with that quarterback back there all by himself. So this is a little bit more of a running type of formation, to get that speed to the outside.
Out of the pistol, dropping back. This is Stenson, the backup quarterback. He throws it out to the right side. It's complete to Austin Albrecht, but a penalty flag back at the 28. And, Coach, last week we saw the Broncos do this. They seem to have not a whole lot of weapons. They're trying to use their speed, bringing in the backup quarterback and lining up Matt Johnson out as a wide receiver.
Right, and that's a good thing to do. I mean, when you're the head coach, you want to figure out ways to get your, get the football to your key receivers, to, what we call your home run hitters. And, it tells you a little bit about the athletic ability of the quarterback if they can, take him out from quarterback and put him out there as a wideout. A little bit like my guy Kane Kohler up at Northwestern. that lines up at quarterback, and they're a wide open offense, but occasionally they'll put him in there as a receiver because he's just that good an athlete.
Mitchell Sterner, the backup quarterback. Last week we saw Brandon Golick back there, but right now it is Sterner at quarterback. Matt Johnson is the wide receiver to the top of the formation. 3 wide out, Sterner back to pass. Looks, fires deep, looking for Johnson, and he's going to overthrow this ball. And Mitchell Sterner, a 6'0", 170-pound senior, showed that he does have an arm on him. They were hoping to get Johnson just to run underneath that one. Good double coverage by the Orioles, but it was a pass that is incomplete, and it'll force the Broncos to punt as Brandon Golick will be the punter. Actually, they are sending back there Calvin Green to punt this ball. Green will get it. It's blocked. Coming in to block the football, falling in the end zone
Hanlon again.
Is Nick Hanlon.
Nick Hanlon just has a knack. He's an outstanding special teams player. At least I think that's him. It is. Nope.
It was Zach Williams that blocked the punt. Number 33 came in, and for Coach Bless, we have 7 minutes and 7 seconds left to go in this first quarter, and he has touchdowns by the offense, defense, and now the special teams.
Well, if things continue the way they are, it's going to be a long night. Jeff has not had the kind of season I know that they'd hoped for. It's a long ride down here. I know when we had to make the trip in the reverse direction, it was, you had to work hard to keep the kids focused because you're making that long trip. But when you're making a trip like this and you're going into a game, and I don't care how much as coaches you're trying to convince your kids you have a chance to win, these kids watch the film also, and they're aware that they'd have to come in here and play a perfect game. And now being down here by 3 scores, and we're not even 5 minutes into the game, I'm afraid this one may get out of hand. And the good news, I guess, for Avon, if this continues, and I don't mean to put the kiss of death on them, but it is homecoming. You do like to see a lot of kids play. You want to reward some of those kids. You want to see your kids have some success as well. We did have those 2 tough losses earlier, and to have a ball game like this sometimes is a breath of fresh air.
For Coach Bless, this is the 3rd game in a row he's gotten a big play out of his special teams. He got a block punt against Brownsburg, one last week that was turned into 6 against Noblesville, and now another one here against the Broncos. Is once again to kick this ball away is Alex Steffen. He'll kick it short. This is Austin Albrecht at the 25. He'll run laterally. Penalty flag comes in late.
We've got a block in the back.
And things just will go from bad to worse for the Broncos. It's quite obvious the Orioles trying to keep it out of the hands of Darian Green, looking to kick it short. Albrecht, one of their better wide receivers, recovered the ball or received the ball, but instead of turning north-south, he tried to go east-west, and the block in the back will push the Broncos even further back. They'll start this drive with the ball at their own 18-yard line. Still 7 minutes, 1 second remaining in this opening quarter, but the Broncos find themselves trailing by the score of 22-0. As Matt Johnson now will return to quarterback. He'll have Darian Green lined up behind him in the pistol. Johnson with a give to Green. He'll go straight up the middle and not find a whole lot of room. As coming in with the tackle for the Orioles was Sean Brent. And it's a pickup of maybe 1.5 yards or 2.
Well, Coach Kennedy understands this offense as well as anybody, and they have a lot of plays. I know right now he's looking for an answer, but even being in that shotgun pistol offense with the quarterback, back 5 yards, every time he's thrown the ball, and other than the one pass, they've been mostly short passes, he's under constant pressure. So right now he's looking for an answer. They're trying to find something that they can do against this Avon defense.
Johnson waits the snap. He'll keep it and fake the handoff to Green. He'll go to the right side. He'll find a few yards, but then he will be very, very rudely greeted by David Griffith. Coming up from his strong safety position, it's a pickup of a couple of yards on the play. Griffith on the season, that's his 40th tackle. He has 12 assists, 5 tackles for loss, and now with that interception earlier in the quarter, his 2nd interception of the season. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5 for the Broncos. Clock moves, 5:47 left to go opening quarter, but the Orioles already up 22 points. Johnson looks, fires down the right side, looking deep, and he was looking for Tim Wilson down the right sideline. Andrew Griffin step for step, and the ball was overthrown, and once again, this time the Broncos will go 3 and out. Last time they tried to punt, Zach Williams blocked it and went into the end zone for a touchdown, and we'll see what they do here as Calvin Green gets ready to kick this ball away.
You know, last time he came clean right up the middle. I mean, it was just one of those plays where protection broke down. And
pressure comes again. Green gets it away. The ball will bounce and take a Bronco bounce, and it'll be down inside the 35-yard line, close to the 30, and now pushing and shoving, going along in the backfield. And the Orioles will have this ball 1st and 10 as they'll spot it at the Oriole 30-yard line with 5 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in this first quarter. And Avon already up big, 22-0, as the offense, who have scored a touchdown of their own volition, but this is really the second time they've taken the field, and they find themselves up 22-0. As Brandon Peters works this time out of the gun. Broncos show blitz from the linebackers. The give is to Derek Tennant. He'll bust it up the middle, and they'll gain about 5+ yards on the carry.
You know, Avon right now, I think, is feeling pretty comfortable trying to work on some things. That time, two tight end formation. I think they feel pretty comfortable that they can handle things with their offensive line and run the football, which also is going to open up the offense and allow them to, you know, call whatever play action types of plays they want to call.
Derek Tennant on the season, 31 carries for 165 yards. He does have 1 touchdown, and he's the tailback with Hicks, the fullback. Here's the pitch. It's a reverse. There's Kimbrough going the other way. He has one man to beat. He eludes one Bronco up to the 40, 45, 50, 45, down to the 35, and he will finally be brought down inside the 30-yard line as Cress Kimbrough eludes 3 Broncos and takes it deep into Bronco territory on the reverse.
Yeah, actually, Lafayette Jeff had that defended pretty well, other than the fact that they couldn't make an open field tackle. I don't think they were fooled, but Cress is a good enough athlete, especially in the open field, that he made 2 people miss, you know, on what could have been a minus play, ends up with about a 40-yard gain.
Ball will be spotted at the Bronco 26-yard line. 1st down and 10 Orioles. 4:17 remaining opening quarter. Avon up 22-0. Peters will work out of the gun. He'll put Tennant to his left. 3 wideouts in the pattern for the Orioles. Back to pass, short hitch. They have Kimbrough. Kimbrough tries to cut it back up the middle, but he will finally be brought down. Woody Archibald of the Broncos brought him down. Archibald, their leading tackler, 41 tackles on the season and 5 interceptions. He's one of the Hoosier Crossroads Conference leaders in interceptions, and he managed to get Kimbrough coming back toward the middle for about a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, this is one of those games, and I know it's just in the first quarter, but every coach has some plays in his playbook that, you know, he'd like to run, but he's just not comfortable running. And in games like this, it's, you know, one of those nights when you kind of take a chance and say, hey, let's see what this play looks like. So you might see some plays out of Avon tonight they haven't shown earlier in the season.
Unbalanced right, and as Tennant goes over the right tackle, he's going to be brought down, stopped by Tanner Collins, the middle linebacker, and it'll bring up 3rd down. With the Broncos, and we mentioned their offense, again, more of a 3-3 stacked, and I think we saw that earlier on that big pass play to Kimbrough. When they start stacking 7, 8 in the box trying to stop the run, that leaves one-on-one coverage in the secondary, and the Orioles were able to exploit it earlier in this game.
Yeah, they will change coverages, but historically they've been a man-to-man team. They cover you tight, but, you know, when they give up one, they give up a big one like they did earlier tonight.
3rd and long as Peters backs to pass. Now he flushes out to the right. Pass is complete. He has more at the 15 and more. Eludes one tackler. He'll take it inside the 10 down to the 6.
Awfully nice play there by 2 sophomore players. Brandon got flushed out of the pocket, and I don't know if they keep stats like that at all, but he's done that the entire season. You know, plays when a lesser athlete, a quarterback, might have been sacked or been forced to throw the ball away. he seems to have a knack for avoiding a wide open rusher, and that time he did get outside contained. Matt Moore was smart enough to see that and come back to the ball and made the catch and turned it upfield for the first down.
Andrew Griffin and Nick Aitchen are the wideouts on this 1st and goal from about the 6. Peter stays in the gun. The give is to Derek Tennant. Looks for some room around the left side. He'll get down inside the 5 to around the 3-yard line before he is brought down. That'll bring up 2nd down and goal. We mentioned Brandon Peters, only 3 interceptions on the year, and for a sophomore quarterback that has been flushed as often as he has, he's made excellent decisions with the football and has done an excellent job of making sure that if he can't make the play, he throws the ball away and doesn't force it, giving up the turnover. It'll be 2nd down and goal. They'll spot the ball just outside the 3-yard line. 1:37 left to go, opening quarter. 22-0 is our score. The give is to Tennant, and Tennant, it's a keeper by Brandon Peters. Play action fake. They gave it to Tennant. He was wide open through the middle, but it's Brandon Peters around the left side for the 3-yard touchdown run, and the Orioles extend their lead by 6.
Yeah, this is one of those nights that I'm sure Coach Bless is getting lots of help on the sidelines calling plays, because at least at this point in the game, everything they've run works. So, everybody becomes an offensive expert and wants to help out. I'm sure there's people in the stands that have some calls they'd like to send down, because right now that offense is clicking on all cylinders, and they look good both running and passing. The offensive line looks good. They've caught the ball. They've made good decisions, and right now things are pretty efficient.
Niles Edwards' point after is no good, but the score with 1:29 left to go in the opening quarter. Avon 28, Lafayette Jefferson nothing. Back with a kick right after this is Oriole football on ASL.
Established in 1882 as Harris Bank and owned by BMO Financial Group since 1984, BMO Harris Bank has grown to become one of the largest banks in the Midwest, serving personal, commercial, and affluent customers. They're located at 7503 Beechwood Center Road in Avon. For more information, call them at 272-5650. McNamara Florist is Indy's hometown florist since 1954, with 8 convenient locations, including the new Avon store on Rockville Road. McNamara Florist is famous for our floral designs for all occasions that help our clients express their emotions through flowers. Visit McNamara Florist for outstanding personal service and to select from the renowned home decor merchandising, including stunning Christmas classics. McNamara Florist is located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon, and you can give them a call at 579-7900.
The kickoff is high and short and muffed, and what has been an absolutely dreadful night for the Lafayette Jefferson Broncos gets a little bit worse as Austin Albrecht muffs the kickoff. The Orioles fall on it, and they will start this drive 1st and 10 from the Bronco 29-yard line.
I would say unbelievable, but it happens. Not a fun night for Coach Kennedy on the Jeff sidelines tonight.
Orioles have the ball 1st and 10 at the Bronco 29-yard line. They'll shift to an I backfield. David Shaw is the tailback as they go unbalanced left. 2 wideouts to the top. The pitch is to Shaw. He'll look for some room around the left side, and he will plow over a Bronco defender, picking up a couple of yards down to the 26-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and about 7.
I think at least here for a while you're going to see some good basic football. That unbalanced formation we talked about, trying to run the football here a little bit, get the ball to Shaw, maybe even Hicks or Derek Tennant, and, just see if they can run some clock and give the offensive line a chance to come off the ball.
They'll work Peters out of the gun, flanked by Shaw and Hicks. They'll send Kimbrough in motion. They give us to Shaw. He cuts back to the left, and a fine tackle is coming in to make the play is Matt Johnson.
Yeah, linebacker blitz that time they didn't pick up. And again, I mean, you as a coaching staff, you want to have all perfect plays, but right now, like I said earlier, they're experimenting a little bit. They're going to put some people in. They're going to run some things that maybe they haven't run, and they'll go in and watch the film tomorrow as coaches do, even though you're up 28-0, they're going to find some things that need to be fixed.
Coach Bless is just wanting them not to snap this ball, but Peters doesn't see it. Instead, he finds Sam Bloom on a little stop route inside the 20 down to about the 15. Coach Bless was going to let Brandon run out the clock, but Peters never saw it. Instead, he got the play off, and it's a pickup of about 13 down to the 15-yard line of the Broncos, and that'll be the end of the first quarter of play. As great as it was for the Orioles, the Broncos, well, not so good. And after the end of the first period of play, Avon leads Lafayette Jefferson 28-0. Second quarter action coming up. This is Avon Varsity Football on Audio Sports Online.
Right now at all Avon and Brownsburg McDonald's, you can check out the brand new Mighty Wings. Mighty Wings are hearty bone-in chicken wings that are crispy and breaded with a spicy kick. Available in 3-piece, 5-piece, or 10 pieces, a 3-piece is only $2.99 at all Avon and Brownsburg McDonald's. Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcast. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone is 317-243-2372, and they are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com.
Along with the Indiana Football Hall of Famer Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. Second quarter ready to get underway with the Avon Orioles already up big against the Broncos of Lafayette Jefferson 28-0. They'll have it 1st and 10 at the Broncos 15-yard line. Peters backs to pass, looks, fires all alone in the end zone. It's Chris Kimbrough on an absolute breakdown in the Broncos defense. Kimbrough was wide open over on the right side of the end zone, and it was an easy pitch and catch between Peters and Kress.
Yeah, I mean, we're executing on all cylinders tonight, but they're really, I mean, they've already given up. I mean, it's really kind of sad in a sense that you don't see a lot of energy out of them, and it is tough when you're down by 4 touchdowns, and that was a nice throw and catch and great protection, but he was awfully wide open for, for them being in man-to-man coverage.
Miles Edwards puts the kick through, and with just 6 seconds expired in this second quarter, Avon extends their lead to 35-0. Back with a kick right after this. This is Oriole football on ASO.
Tune in to XRBRadio.com every Friday at 5:30 for the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show. Join me, Brian Scott, for a full hour as I interview coaches and student athletes from Brownsburg and Avon High Schools. You can also watch the taping in person at a McDonald's near you every Wednesday night. Check out the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show broadcast page at xrbradio.com or audiosportsonline.com for store locations.
Along with Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. The Orioles get a 15-yard strike. Kress Kimbrough from Brandon Peters. And it's now 35-0, and we are only 6 seconds into this second quarter. And, Coach, it's, as you say, it's kind of tough, and I don't know if you've ever been in this situation where you just kind of look up and say, I don't know what buttons I even could push. There was evidently a penalty on that point after they pushed the ball back to the 25-yard line.
Well, fortunately, I mean, as long as I coached a couple of times you were, and it's, again, the biggest thing that I'm sure Coach Bless and his staff are doing is at this point you almost tell them to forget about the score and just worry about doing your job. Go out and execute, know your assignments, play hard. You're going to start to see, and I'm not sure exactly when it'll happen, but, some different combinations. They'll get a look at some backup kind of kids. They might play some kids out here tonight that are in the rotation, but maybe a little bit that might get a little bit more time. But, the biggest thing you're trying to get your kids to do really is just to do what they're supposed to do, play as hard as they're supposed to play, and carry out their assignments with all the energy and excitement that they can.
Another penalty there on the kick will move the ball 4 yards closer to the Oriole goal line. And if there's one thing that I know Coach Bless, he can look at the scoreboard and say it's 35-0. He has already seen a few penalties in this game, and that was one thing he really wanted to see his team cut down on, is the Broncos have it 1st and 10 in Oriole territory. Here is the pitch, a little flea flicker action. Johnson throws it up. It's complete, and it is Mitchell Sterner, I believe, the quarterback, who flipped it to Johnson. Sterner then went out on a little wheel route down the left sideline, and he takes the pass from Johnson, and that's the best play the Broncos have pulled off all night.
Well, from this point on, I think you're going to see a lot of that. I think right now Jeff knows that they just don't have the athletes to, run the football or, nickel and dime with that short passing game. So, if they're going to have a chance to get on the board, it's going to have to be with a trick play or a big play, a long run, something out of the playbook that maybe you haven't seen.
And now we have another penalty flag as delay a game, as after that big play, Jeff Slow getting back to the huddle, as they will lose 5 yards. So after having a 25-yard play on the basically flea flicker, kind of out of a different formation, but nonetheless, they lose 5 yards on the delay of game to push them back to the Oriole 24-yard line, where they will have it 1st and 15, trailing 35-0 with 11:40 left to go in this first half. Sterner will remain the quarterback. They will bring Johnson in motion, but Sterner will keep it. He'll look for a little bit of room on the right side. Won't find a lot, as Matt Thompson was the first one to slow him down. And then cleaning up the play was Mac Duffin, who many of you heard earlier this week on the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show. He was Chris Worley and my special guest, along with Avon head coach Mark Bless. And it's a no gain on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 15.
Yeah, right now, you've got that Avon defense. They're fighting like crazy because, they've got a shutout. They want to keep a shutout. And, Lafayette Jeff's playing for a little bit of pride right now. I mean, they need to get on the board. They at least want to feel like they can do some positive things out here in the first half, so they can go in at halftime and feel like they've got a chance to at least put some points up on the board.
Broncos confused on offense. Coach Andy Kennedy takes his first time out. We do as well, with 10:58 left to go in the first half. 35-0 in favor of the Orioles. This is Oriole football on ASL.
If you're a business owner, with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. Is it being prepared correctly? Are the right amount of taxes being taken out? What about child support, workman's comp, auditing, unemployment, Social Security, local taxes, payroll deductions? It can be a bit overwhelming, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated. We'll take care of all those payroll headaches and manage any unique deductions that apply to your company. We offer several ways to submit your payroll and provide you with customized timesheets for reporting. The Payroll Department Incorporated, located at 701 North Green Street in Brownsburg.
Alongside the coach Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. 35-0 Orioles with the lead. 10:58 left to go first half. We heard some one score of note involving a possible sectional opponent. Ben Davis leading Center Grove 13-0. Center Grove undefeated so far on the season, number 1 in Class 6A. But right now, the Giants with the lead. Right here, it is the Orioles with the lead on this 2nd and 15. They fake the pitch. Sterner fires, looks for the end zone. It's thrown up. It's brought down, and Austin Albrecht in a jump ball situation in the end zone. He's the one that comes down with the football, and the Broncos are on the scoreboard for the first time in 7 quarters.
Yeah, that was a great catch because it was actually pretty well defended. The little play action pass there, he bought some time because that was a longer route, and he really just kind of put it up, a little one-on-one situation, jump ball situation, and the Lafayette Jeff receiver, just basically went up and took the ball right out of the Avon defender's hands.
On for the point after is Eric King. He puts the ball up and through, and with 10:51 left to go in this first half, the Broncos finally are on the scoreboard. They trail the Orioles 35-7. Back with a kick after this. This is Oriole football on ASO.
Sweet Treats of Avon is closed for remodeling until November 7th. That's when it will reopen under a new look. and new name, Chicago's Pizza Express. They're located at Dan Jones and Rockville Road behind CVS Pharmacy in Avon. Find out more on November 7th when Sweet Treats opens up as the new Chicago's Pizza Express. Same great owners, but a whole new look and new menu. We'd like to say thanks to our friends at the Hendricks County Flyer that have helped make tonight's video webcast possible. Please check them out online as well as watch tonight's game at flyergroup.com. We'd also like to thank Citywide Paving for their support of Avon football and our Avon football broadcast this year. Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health provides care for the way you were meant to move. We care for every muscle, bone, and joint in your body to get you back to the activities you love. Get more information online at mymotion360.org.
Austin Albrecht's 24-yard touchdown reception from Mitchell Sterner put the Broncos on the board. They trail 35-7 as they kick this one away. Nick Achen and Cress Kimbrough back deep to receive Alex Baker's kick. This is Achen. Achen loses the football. The ball is loose, and it is the Broncos that come away with the football. Achen with a full head of steam. Looked like he was trying to find some room around his right side, but a Bronco got in there, poked the football away, and Jeff, now they get a turnover, and they'll have the ball 1st and 10 at the Oriole 31-yard line. So with 10:44 left to go in this first half, the Orioles still well out in front, 35-7, but now the Broncos have the ball once again, and they have it deep in Oriole territory at the Avon 31-yard line. Sterner is going to stay in at quarterback. Matt Johnson is the wide out to the near side. Darian Green behind him in the pistol. They give us to Green. He'll take it up the middle and pick up 2 or 3 yards before crashing down, I believe, was Chad Skaggs or Isaiah Robinson. Yeah, it's a pickup of maybe a yard or 2 on the play.
Yeah, you can already see a little bit of a difference in Lafayette Jeff. They're playing with a little more of a strut in their walk right now. You know, they got the touchdown up. They're playing with a little bit of pride, and, you know, they picked it up here a little bit, trying to get back in the game even though they're 4 touchdowns down. Offensively, they've got great field position here on the 30-yard line.
Isaiah Archer is the wide out to the far side of the field. Johnson and in the H-back, I believe, is Archibald. Actually, that's Albrecht, but they give us to Darian Green. He'll run right up the middle, and he'll find the going tough and pick up maybe a yard on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and long for Jeff.
Yeah, I know they'd like to be able to run the football, but, you know, it looks like it's a losing battle. You know, they're already down by 4 touchdowns, and, yes, there's all kinds of time left in the game. And, you know, maybe we're looking a little bit toward the rest of the season. But, you know, I think for Lafayette Jeff to attempt to do anything between the tackles tonight, I think they're just making a mistake. If they're going to move the football at all tonight, it's going to have to be outside and throwing the football.
That tight bunch formation that coach is to the right. Back to pass to Sterner. He loses it going back. He recovers the football, but standing right on top of him as the ball came, as he recovered the football, Matt Thompson, the 5'11", 190-pound sophomore linebacker. And it's a huge loss all the way back to the Oriole 44, and that'll take the Broncos out of field goal range.
Yeah, like a couple of the other sophomores, Brandon Peters and Andrew Griffin and Matt Moore. Matt Thompson now has been a starter for, I think, all but the first game, and you can just see him playing with a lot more confidence out there tonight. Good play on that last play, but he's been solid in his performance all season.
Calvin Green will punt this ball away. It'll take a bounce at the 20. Griffith will take it at his 9. He'll cut up the near sideline to the 20, to the 30, and he'll finally be taken out of bounds over on that far sideline by Isaiah Archer. But an excellent return by David Griffith.
Yeah, took a chance. You know, we've had a problem or two with our punt returns this year, but, you know, he was able to see that he had some room if he could pick that ball up cleanly, and he did, and he has that burst of speed and that knack that I talk about all the time for doing the right thing, and he took the ball up the sideline and changed the field position situation for the Avon offense in a hurry.
The offense will start their own 32-yard line, up 35-7 with 8:31 left to go in this first half. The give is to Tennant. Tennant will just plow straight ahead And where Darian Green was only picking up a yard or two, Derek Tennant picks up 5 yards on this carry up to about the 37-yard line.
You know, and not only did he do that, but, you know, like I mentioned earlier, Lafayette Jeff is blitzing the house on nearly every play. They brought 2 linebackers right up the middle that time. Should have been disruptive to the play that the Avon offense ran, but the offensive line picked it up cleanly. He found a nice hole and picked up 5 yards on a first down run.
It'll be Hicks and Tennant in the eye behind Peters. Kimbrough, the lone wide receiver. The give is to Derek Tennant. He'll bust through the line, and he will drag Bronco defenders with him all the way up to around the 49-yard line. It's a pickup of about 13 on the play and a first down for the Orioles.
Yeah, just a nice little basic inside zone running play. They're going to, you know, try to block the blitz as best they can. Derek, you know, the running back is supposed to just kind of find that little opening and make the cutback run, and he's had 2 good runs on the last 2 plays, and a big part of that is because right now the Avon offensive line is just, you know, knocking the Lafayette Jeff line, you know, back from the line of scrimmage.
Ball at the 49-yard line, 1st and 10 for Avon. Play action pass. Peters back all the time in the world. Fires looking for Andrew Griffin. That time, Peters short hopped that pass, and it's incomplete. As losing a helmet on the play and having to come out will be Thomas Hicks.
Yeah, really not much there. You know, one of the better defensive plays for Lafayette Jeff. They play action pass, and they've been running the football, so that should have bought them some time. But they dropped back. They had all the receivers covered, and you know, looked like a bad pass. You know, might have to check with Brandon later and see if he threw that ball on the ground or on purpose or not, because none of the receivers were open.
Orioles will go to a 3-wide look with Peters in the gun and Tennant to his right. 3 down linemen. Broncos show blitz. Here they come. All the time. Good protection. Fired over. He has Andrew Griffin at the 40. Down to the 35. Eludes another tackler. And Griffin will finally be drugged down at the 30-yard line. Broncos bring the blitz, but the Oriole offensive line picks it up beautifully, and it's a nice pitch and catch for Peters and Griffin.
You know, nice little read there by Brandon also. You know, he looked initially like he really wanted to go to the receiver in the flat, but the outside linebacker for Jeff ran with him to the flat, which created an opening back inside for Andrew Griffin. He made an awfully nice catch. It was a well-thrown ball, a little high. He reached up, caught it on the run, and picked up some extra yardage.
Hicks and Tennant in the eye. It's the give is to Derek Tennant. Looks for some room, eludes one tackler, now cuts it up, and where was once nothing on that play, Derek Tennant able to turn it into at least a gain of about a yard.
Yeah, one of the few times the Avon offensive line allowed a little penetration. They had a linebacker that blitzed that they missed. They didn't pick him up. He got into the backfield and created a little bit of a problem. Derek saw it in time, didn't get tackled, but it did cause him to have to run sideways a little bit, and ended up with a short game really where he had nothing.
6:15 remains in this first half, 35-7 in favor of the Orioles as Peter works out of the gun. They will bring Kimbrough in motion to the near side. Back to pass is Peter, good protection, flings it out to Tennant, trying to set up the screen, but nicely defended by the Broncos as Tanner Collins, the Mike linebacker, came in to blow that one up in the backfield for a loss of about 3.
But, from my point of view, nice call. They've gone downfield a couple of times. They've run the football. Lafayette Jeff has shown a tendency to blitz most of the night. The screen is really an outstanding call against teams that blitz. On the surface or what they've seen, it should have been a good play. Lafayette just defensively just played it very well.
Jeff back, it looks like in a nickel package this time with 3 wide outs on 3rd and long. Peters back to pass, looks, fires over to the red side, has Kimbrough, and looks like Cress Kimbrough will have enough for the first down. He planted his feet right at that first down marker, and the pitch and catch from Peters to Kimbrough will be enough for the first down.
An outstanding route by Kress. I mean, he made it look all the way like he was trying to run behind the defender and run the deep route, try to hit the home run, and got the defensive back into a back pedal, and then he did. He broke it off very sharply, very quickly, and the timing between he and Brandon Peters is just improving all year because as soon as he made the turn, the ball was delivered on time.
It's the 8th play of this drive for the Orioles as the give is to Derek Tennant. Finds some room around the left side to the 15, inside the 10. Loses the football, but looks like he was able to gather it back up as he got a favorable bounce, I believe, and the ball will be spotted at the 6. It'll be first and goal for the Orioles.
Well, that's where the blitzing hurts you sometimes, because if you can get to the outside, your second level of defenders, your linebacker level, isn't there because you've blitzed them. So anytime you blitz, you have to hope that you blitz to the right gaps. That time Avon took the ball a little bit further outside. Once he got through the line of scrimmage, the only people left to make the tackle were in the secondary.
Andrew and Griffin are the wideouts, but the pitch is to Derek Tennant. Tries to go wide and then decides to cut it upfield. And he'll pick up maybe about a yard on the play down to the 5-yard line. It'll be second and goal from the 5.
Yeah, which again doesn't hurt you at all. Lafayette Jeff that time did what they're supposed to do. Their outside guys contained it. They turned it back inside to where their other defenders were. Derek Tennant, the running back, took what was there, which wasn't much. Didn't fumble the ball and, still got it back to the line of scrimmage, and we're still in good shape here at second and 5.
Richie Steinmetz now in as a wide out to the far side. Nick Aitchen is the near side. Still Hicks and Tennant and I behind Peters. Second and goal from the 5. Give is to Tennant. He'll bust it right up the middle, and they will mark him shy of the goal line, just inside the 1-yard line, a pickup of over 4.
Yeah, look for a brief second like he was going to walk in the end zone. Good lead block by the fullback. I'm not sure if that's still Hicks or not, but, good lead block. He pancaked the linebacker. It looked like he was going to walk in, and the safety came up, made a nice open field tackle. But, Avon's down here. They can't have 2 to 3 inches to go.
It'll be third and goal inside the 1. Once again, Hicks and Tennant behind Peters. Peters will give it to Derek Tennant. Tennant around the right side, and they will mark him shy of the goal line once again. Looked like he might have been able to get it across, but the side judge over on the far side of the field marks it 4th down and up 35-7. No question here, the Orioles will go for it.
Well, I got after Jeff a little bit in the first quarter about not playing with any pride, but, they put that score up, and you could tell the difference just in their attitude, emotion. Even if Avon scores here, Avon's put together a nice drive, but Lafayette Jeff defensively has made them earn it. They've made them put together probably a 10, 12-play drive here.
4th and inches to go. Here is Derek Tennant, and he's going to be taken down for a loss of about a half yard, and that defense by the Broncos, they'll come off the field fired up as they have a nice little goal line stand here to stop a Oriole drive that took up over almost 5 minutes of clock, 13 plays, and the Orioles will come away empty.
Well, it's going to sound really strange when I make this next statement, but, as a head coach, a play like that, because, I think we're going to win this game, it's really not a bad thing because it's a coaching moment. We're up by 4 scores here. That should have been a cakewalk. You're down on the, third down and about a foot and don't get it in. And I'm sure they're going to find some things. They're going to be some teaching lessons about playing hard and carrying out your assignment and blocking to get the ball in the end zone.
Johnson, the quarterback. No, this is Sterner. Sterner lays it up, and he was looking for the near side for Tim Wilson, and Gabe Laxton's was in stride, step for step with Wilson. The pass will be incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the Bronco 1-yard line.
Yeah, Gabe has had a nice season. He's a big, tall kid. I'm not sure what they list him at, but I know – when I see him in school, he's got to be, he is. He's listed at 6'3". I was going to say I think he's at least 6'3", but he's got good speed. He's got good athletic ability, and he has done a great job all year covering wide receivers in the open field, and he did it once again there.
The give from Sterner to Darian Green. Green will go straight up the middle, and he will find very little except a wall of black-clad Oriole defenders, and will bring up 3rd and long. Clock moves, 2:35 left to go in this first half. Avon out in front 35-7. They led 28-0 at the end of the first quarter. Got a touchdown to begin this second quarter, and after a sustained drive, a couple of turnovers, and a touchdown by the Broncos, the Orioles have just been turned away on downs, and now the Broncos have it 3rd and long from their own 2-yard line. 3 wideouts to the near side, 1 to the top. Is Mitchell Sterner is the quarterback. He will drop back in his own end zone. He fires it. He fires a bullet. And the young man, he definitely has an arm. He was looking for Isaiah Archer. There was Gabe Laxton's on Archer. Pass is overthrown and bring up 4th down.
Yeah, for some strange reason, they're going after Gabe, and I'm not too sure he's the one you want to go after. I just mentioned his coverage has been good all year. He's 6'3". He's a big, strong kid. He's 175 pounds and very athletic, and they've tried to get run by him the last 2 times, and he's run stride for stride with their receivers right down the field.
We're going to have a timeout, I believe, called by Avon, as they're calling a safety. Was there a penalty in the end zone? The Broncos, there was a penalty flag in the end zone. Did not see the call. All we saw was the referee call safety, and head coach Andy Kennedy wants to know what this is about. But other than a holding call in the end zone, some type of offensive penalty that occurred in the end zone, the Orioles have recorded the safety.
Must have been a hold. That's the only thing I could think. But that flag was thrown way in the back of the end zone.
Well, it was also out there, the yellow Avon in the end zone. It must have been laying on part of the yellow because we could not see it from up here in the press box. And evidently nobody did because the Broncos sent their punt team out. I was about ready to mention that for the Broncos, who had already had one punt blocked, another one come close to being blocked, they were going to put their punter on the back line. But for whatever it was, whatever the penalty was, it's going to result in 2 points for Avon on the safety, and now they'll get the ball back on the free kick with 1:59 left to go in the first half, now leading 37-7.
Well, and from that coaching point of view, you get a chance to work on your 2-minute offense. You're going to have a little bit better field position because they have to kick from the 20, but this gives that sophomore quarterback again and that offensive unit an opportunity to work in that 2-minute offense. And no, it really probably won't have much bearing on the game here tonight, but as the season goes on and you hit that tournament trail and the competition changes a little bit, I think they're going to be thankful that they had the opportunity in a game situation to work on that.
Baker will tee it up rather than punt this free kick, but he still sends it out of bounds, which will compound the issues for the Broncos because that'll allow the Orioles to have excellent field position to start this 2-minute drive as the kickoff out of bounds.
That's going to put it up near midfield.
As they will spot it at about the 45-yard line of the Broncos on that penalty. So a crucial mistake by the kicker Alex Baker. Normally you will see on a free kick they punt the ball. This time Baker teed it up, but he kicked it out of bounds, and now the Orioles have it 1st and 10 at the Bronco 45-yard line after the free kick with 1:59 remaining in the first half. Peters will work out of the gun. Broncos show blitz. Here they come. The give is to Tennant. Derek Tennant finds a little bit of room over the right side. He'll pick up about 3 yards before he is finally brought down. Looked like on the tackle there was Alex Guadalajara. And it'll bring up 2nd down at about 7. The football just shy of the Bronco 42-yard line. It'll be Andrew Griffin to the near side, Crest Kimbrough to the far side. Double tight end as they'll work Peters out of the gun with Tennant to his right. 3 down linemen for the Broncos. The give is to Tennant, looks for some room around the left side to the 40. Makes a cut to the 35, gets outside, and he'll finally be taken out of bounds inside the 30 and around the 29-yard line. Mitchell Sterner finally able to ride. That was Tywan Johnson, with the carry. And it'll be taken out at about the 29-yard line, 1st and 10 for Avon. 1:15 remains in this first half, 37-7. That's our score. As Johnson will stay in. Griffin to the near side and Kimbrough to the far side. Again, the double tight end look by the Oriole offense with Peters in the gun. Broncos will show blitz. They give it to Taiwan. Taiwan takes it up the middle inside the 25, down to about the 20-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 9 for Taiwan Johnson. It'll bring up 2nd down and 1.
Nice to see him in. He's a nice little back. He was a starter earlier in the year. His time has been a little more limited here lately with Derek Tennant back and David Shaw having such a nice season running the football, so it's nice to see him get an opportunity to strut his stuff here a little bit in the first half.
42 seconds remaining. Here's Johnson, able to keep his hands on the football, and a nice job of doing that as a Bronco had a hand deep inside where Taiwan was carrying the ball, but he'll go down just shy of the 15-yard line, but it'll be 1st and 10 for the Orioles. Clock moves, 36 seconds. No hurry here by Avon, is already up 37-7. Peters out of the gun, Johnson to his left. They'll snap the ball. Peters drops back, fires over the middle, seam route, and the touchdown to Matt Moore from 15 yards out, but a penalty flag and a hold is going to be called against Avon. Run. They said Matt Moore on the seam. He made a nice catch from Brandon Peters, but the holding penalty will bring this one back.
Yeah, very, very nice play, obviously, other than the penalty. They're in a what we call a single safety defense, and they ran both tight ends straight down the field, and Brandon just looked off the safety, got him to bite one way, and hit Matt Moore wide open on the other side. So nice throw and catch other than the penalty.
Ball's at the 32-yard line. It's 1st and 27. 16.8 seconds remain in the half. Peters out of the gun. Johnson to his left, 2 wides. Peters back to pass. Nice protection, fires over the middle, and it's intercepted. Woody Archibald with his 6th interception. Oh, that's Matt Johnson, excuse me. Matt Johnson with the interception as he got a hand on that, juggled it, and for the first time in 4 games, Brandon Peters has thrown a pick.
Well, he did, but that's also one of those situations when you're down to 15 seconds. You know, that's a throw he probably wouldn't make if it were 3rd and 8 in the middle of the first quarter. But at the end of the half, when you know you've only got a chance to maybe run 1 or 2 more plays, you know, in the back of your mind you might be thinking, I know he's covered, I know they have pretty good coverage, but maybe I could sneak that ball in there and we can get a cheapie here before the end of the half. So, yes, it was a pick, and yes, it's his first in a while, but I think the situation in the game dictated that as much as anything.
Mitchell Sterner stays in at quarterback. This will be the final play of the half. He's looking for Matt Johnson and throws that one a little too far outside. There are 0.3 of a second remaining. So actually the Broncos will get one more play before the half, as the Broncos have finally decided to use Mitchell Sterner as their primary quarterback, making Matt Johnson a wideout, hoping to use Johnson and Tim Wilson for some speed in the wideout position. Darian Green remains the tailback, but his effectiveness as a tailback here against this Oriole defense has been minimal at best. Sterner for the final play of the half. He'll swing it out to Green, hope Green can do something. And Green got a little anxious, tried to cut upfield, slipped, and that's how the first half is going to end for the Lafayette Jefferson Broncos. Avon jumped out quick. They jumped out big, and they'll head to the locker room at the half, leading the Broncos by the score of 37-7. We'll be back with some halftime thoughts. This is Avon Oriole football on Audio Sports Online.
Did you know that Nelson Jewelers in Brownsburg has been serving Hendricks County and the west side of Indianapolis with an extensive selection of finer diamonds and gemstones since 1958? Nelson Jewelers is a family-owned jewelry store specializing in unique jewelry, jewelry repair, appraisals, and watch repair. Nelson Jewelers is conveniently located in downtown Brownsburg, across from the Hendricks County Bank. Visit Nelson Jewelers for all your jewelry needs at 22 East Main Street in Brownsburg and online at www.nelsonjewelers.com. Nelson Jewelers, a little out of the way, very much out of the ordinary. Legends Pub and Grill is located at 1100 North State Road 267 in Avon. They're open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. and on Sunday from noon to midnight. They're Indy's West Side hotspot, having a DJ and dancing on Saturday nights. For more information, check Legends Pub and Grill out on Facebook or call 272-9040. Established in 1882 as Harris Bank and owned by BMO Financial Group since 1984, BMO Harris Bank has grown to become one of the largest banks in the Midwest, serving personal, commercial, and affluent customers. They're located at 7503 Beechwood Center Road in Avon. For more information, call them at 272-5650. McNamara Florist is Indy's hometown florist since 1954, with 8 convenient locations, including the new Avon store on Rockville Road. McNamara Florist is famous for our floral designs for all occasions that help our clients express their emotions through flowers. Visit McNamara Florist for outstanding personal service and to select from the renowned home decor merchandising, including stunning Christmas classics. McNamara Florist is located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon, and you can give them a call at 579-7900. Right now at all Avon and Brownsburg McDonald's, you can check out the brand new Mighty Wings. Mighty Wings are hearty bone-in chicken wings that are crispy and breaded with a spicy kick. Available in 3-piece, 5-piece, or 10 pieces, a 3-piece is only $2.99 at all Avon and Brownsburg McDonald's. Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcast. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone is 317-243-2372, and they are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com. Tune in to XRBRadio.com every Friday at 5:30 for the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show. Join me, Brian Scott, for a full hour as I interview coaches and student athletes from Brownsburg and Avon High Schools. You can also watch the taping in person at a McDonald's near you every Wednesday night. Check out the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show broadcast page at XRBRadio.com or AudioSportsOnline.com for store locations.
If you're a business owner with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. Is it being prepared correctly? Are the right amount of taxes being taken out? What about child support, workman's comp, auditing, unemployment, Social Security, local taxes, payroll deductions? It can be a bit overwhelming, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated. We'll take care of all those payroll headaches and manage any unique deductions that apply to your company. We offer several ways to submit your payroll and provide you with customized timesheets for reporting. The Payroll Department Incorporated, located at 701 North Green Street in Brownsburg.
Halftime here at Hendricks Regional Health. The Avon Orioles all over the Lafayette Jefferson Bronchos by the score 37-7. Alongside Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. We'll take a quick look around the Hoosier Crossroads Conference tonight and take a look at the standings. Right now, 2 teams co-leaders in the HCC as the Fishers Tigers 5-1 and the surprising Westfield Shamrocks also 5-1. And if you take a look at the state rankings this week, you'll see the Westfield Shamrocks number 1 in Class 5A. Of course, a lot of changes in 5A this year. It's been a little bit wide open, but a big congrats to Westfield as they're currently ranked number 1 in the state, coming off of a big win last week. Other AP state rankings involving Hoosier Crossroads Conference teams, the Tigers are ranked 6th, Noblesville 13th, Hamilton Southeastern 14th, and as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Avon is currently ranked 15th. Hamilton Southeastern and Noblesville are come up next in the HCC. They're both 4-2, and then a pack of 3 teams at 3-3 with Avon, McCutcheon, and Zionsville. Brownsburg with that win, they moved to 2-4 on the year. Lafayette Jeff, They're 1-5, and the Harrison Raiders still looking for their first win in over 2 years. They are 0-6. Games of tonight has Fishers at Zionsville, and we do have a score of that game at the half. It was the Tigers leading the Eagles 10-0. Hamilton Southeastern is at Noblesville, and last we heard in the second quarter, Noblesville had the 9-7 lead. Harrison is at Brownsburg, and it's the Bulldogs' homecoming. Lafayette Jeff is, of course, right here at Avon, and McCutcheon is at Westfield. That's one of the other big games of tonight. Last week, Avon over Noblesville 17-11. The Bulldogs defeated Jeff 28-0. The Tigers over McCutcheon 47-28. Westfield with the big game against Hamilton Southeastern. They won 38-18, and they did that at a very tough place to play at Hamilton Southeastern. And Zionsville defeated Harrison 35-13. The season, well, in about a week, we're going to know who the sectional opponents are going to be because we are winding this one down really, really quick, Coach. And, you know, we take a look at this game and we see that the Orioles already up to a big, big lead. Coaching etiquette will say you never look past the team you're playing that week. But you're a coach and you've got 2 games left before sectionals begin. What do you start working on?
Well, you always look ahead. You just don't tell the kids. You know, kind of like everything we do in life, you have those short-term goals and those long-term goals, and you know who you have to beat in the tournament. And, you know, your priority is the game-to-game, the day-to-day practice. But at the same time, somebody on that staff is taking a peek at those opponents and watching those teams, and you know you're trying to figure out what you need to do come tournament time as well. You know, and I'm sure even in a game like this, like I said, you're going to see them maybe experiment a little bit. Maybe they'll run that kickoff return. You know that they're looking at. I'm sure they'll get a couple people in here tonight and. You know, backup roles, maybe play some people in a little bit different position. That backup linebacker that they think might have a chance to help them later on will get a little bit more time out here tonight. And, you know, I think the real goal for tonight is just to come out and play that second half, again, as error-free as you can and try to keep the game under control. And, you know, whoever you have in there, you still want them to execute hard and carry out their assignments and defensively run to the football. And, you know, you also want to keep your head about you. You know, you mentioned earlier a little bit of a, you know, I wouldn't say a penalty problem, but there's been a couple of situations, you know, where you've had a drive and you have a hold. And, you know, we had the one down here at the end of the half. But, you know, the biggest thing for Avon tonight, and I'm sure the thing that, you know, Coach Bless has been around too long. He's not in there, you know, telling them that we got to play hard to win this game. It's more a matter of we just need to play hard. You know, Avon's biggest opponent the second half is going to be Avon, and they're going to do everything they can just to continue to get the kids to focus, stay in the game, play as error-free as they possibly can, and whoever's in the game to continue to play as hard as they can. For Lafayette Jeff, you know, it's a little bit of pride. They're going to hang in there, try to get some points up, and you know, they know they're in the 5A tournament this year, I believe. Still
actually,
in 6.
Jeff is actually of the 3 Tippecanoe County schools.
They
in the
still
HCC.
made it.
They made it to 6.
All right. Well, you know, they're still looking down the road here a little bit. They've got a couple of games left, but they're out of the run, and you know, at this point they're playing for pride. And you know, it's a long bus ride home tonight, especially if you don't get some good things done in the second half. So right now I'm sure they're going to be saying a lot of the same things about playing hard and executing well, and you know, just trying to play a better second half than they did the first half.
The Orioles, if you are looking ahead past this game, well, 2 games remaining. Next week they are on the road. They will be at McCutcheon. McCutcheon, preseason, they were one of the higher-ranked teams in Class 5A. They are a 5A school this year. And the Mavericks have played fairly well. They've lost to basically what you might consider the upper echelon teams right now in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference, Hamilton Southeastern, Fishers, and Noblesville. And they will be that will be a good test for the Avon Orioles taking on the Mavericks. And then, of course, what has always been a traditional, just really big matchup to end the season. The Orioles will be back home for the final game of the season against what should be a very interesting game with the Zionsville Eagles. Not only are the Zionsville Eagles, of course, a very, very good team, but it is also going to be Larry McWhorter's finally regular season game at the helm of the Eagles.
Well, you know, and in addition to that, one of the other things that Coach Bless and the Avon team is going to have to deal with is Avon schools are on the year-round schedule now, and next Friday is our last day before a 2-week break. So you're going to have a lot of fans that are, on vacation on the road. I know a concern as a head football coach, any time you change the routine of your team, it's a little tough to deal with. So you're going to have a 2-week period here where the kids don't go to school. The families are going to have to stick around maybe while some other people are on the road. The kids aren't going to be in school all day. So you're going to have to hope that they act mature, hope that you have some leaders and that they behave. But the routine does change. And, you got moms and dads that are certainly going to stick around. But I don't think over the break you're going to see as many fans in the stands, and you're not going to get that encouragement on a day-to-day basis, and especially on a Friday game day, to say, hey, good luck and I hope you play well, because you won't be going to school on game day. So, McCutcheon on the road is tough. They're having a decent season this year, but you're getting on the bus and traveling up to Lafayette, and that's always tough. And Zionsville always plays hard, even when they don't have maybe what you would consider to be terrific talent. I mean, when they have talent, they're really tough to beat. But even if they don't have those Division I kind of kids, they're a well-coached football team. They play hard. They always play great defense. And again, you're going to be playing them in the middle of the break, which is going to make it a little tougher because I don't believe Zionsville's on the break. So they're going to be in the middle of their normal routine. And looking further down the road, that first week of sectionals is going to be on a Friday night before we actually come back to school. So, you've got some tough opponents to play, plus you've got a whole different routine that you have to deal with for your football team.
You and I will talk more about sectionals, of course, that final game with hopefully with Zionsville, but this will be a different year for sectionals for the Avon Orioles. It's part of the new Class 6A. They will be starting sectionals in what many of us remember as the sectional semifinals. They will be when everybody else is starting the first round of sectionals. Well, the Orioles will already be in the semifinal game. Of course, the other three teams in the Avon sectional, no slouches when you look at Ben Davis and Pike and Brownsburg. They came off of a big win against this Jeff team last week. I'm sure Coach Brett Comer would like to see them get on a little bit of a roll. It's still a very young team and probably not going to be a big threat in the sectionals, but on any given night, you never know.
It's still Brownsburg. I remember the best team I had here at Avon. We got beat in the middle of the season by Brownsburg. It's a game on paper that we probably should have won, but, Avon Brownsburg. I mean, say what you want. It's one of those rivalries right now. Brownsburg is playing with a freshman quarterback, and by the time they get to tournament time, he's going to be a seasoned veteran. We've talked about Brandon Peters out here for Avon the entire year, and how he's maturing as a sophomore and getting better every game. Well, Brownsburg's quarterback's going to do the same, and I think Coach Comer and his staff do a terrific job of coaching, and, they're going to continue to get better. So, on paper, you're right. Ben Davis and Pike are probably going to be the favorites. Avon, if they get through tonight like we think they will, this will be their third win in a row, and they're starting to build a little momentum and starting to play better in all phases of the game. So, they should be a team to be reckoned with in the tournament. And I have a feeling that, on paper, Brownsburg is a team you want to draw, but I don't think it's a sure win. They just do too good a job, and Brownsburg, Avon is still Brownsburg, Avon.
Teams are making their way out to the field as we get ready for second half warm-ups. We are going to take a break. When we come back, second half kickoff right here. It's halftime at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium, and the Orioles lead the Broncos big by the score 37-7. Back with the second half kickoff right after this. This is Oriole football on Audio Sports Online.
Sweet Treats of Avon is closed for remodeling until... We'd like to say thanks to our friends at the Hendricks County Flyer that have helped make tonight's video webcast possible. Please check them out online as well as watch tonight's game at flyergroup.com. We'd also like to thank Citywide Paving for their support of Avon football and our Avon football broadcast this year. Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health provides care for the way you were meant to move. We care for every muscle, bone, and joint in your body to get you back to the activities you love. Get more information online at mymotion360.org. Did you know that Nelson Jewelers in Brownsburg has been serving Hendricks County and the west side of Indianapolis with an extensive selection of finer diamonds and gemstones since 1958? Nelson Jewelers is a family-owned jewelry store specializing in unique jewelry, jewelry repair, appraisals, and watch repair. Nelson Jewelers is conveniently located in downtown Brownsburg, across from the Hendricks County Bank. Visit Nelson Jewelers for all your jewelry needs at 22 East Main Street in Brownsburg and online at www.nelsonjewelers.com. Nelson Jewelers, a little out of the way, very much out of the ordinary. Legends Pub and Grill is located at 1100 North State Road 267 in Avon. They're open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. and on Sunday from noon to midnight. They're Indy's West Side hotspot, having a DJ and dancing on Saturday nights. For more information, check Legends Pub and Grill out on Facebook or call 272-9040. Established in 1882 as Harris Bank and owned by BMO Financial Group since 1984, BMO Harris Bank has grown to become one of the largest banks in the Midwest, serving personal, commercial, and affluent customers. They're located at 7503 Beechwood Center Road in Avon. For more information, call them at 272-5650. McNamara Florist is Indy's hometown florist since 1954, with 8 convenient locations, including the new Avon store on Rockville Road. McNamara Florist is famous for our floral designs for all occasions that help our clients express their emotions through flowers. Visit McNamara Florist for outstanding personal service and to select from the renowned home decor merchandising, including stunning Christmas classics. McNamara Florist is located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon, and you can give them a call at 579-7900.
About ready for second half action here at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium alongside the Indiana Football Hall of Famer Dave Shelbourne. I'm Brian Scott. Avon way out in front, 37-7. Orioles started off this game fast on a 41-yard touchdown strike from Brandon Peters to Cress Kimbrough, and from there it just went all downhill for the Broncos. David Griffith had a 43-yard interception return for a touchdown. Avon got a 2-point conversion off of that, followed by Zach Williams blocking a punt, recovering in the end zone for a touchdown, and all of a sudden Avon was up 22-0. Things just kind of went downhill from there for the Broncos. Brandon Peters scored from 3 yards out to make it 28-0, and then Cress Kimbrough scored on a 15-yard touchdown pass to make it 35-0. The Broncos would finally get on the board when Austin Albrecht caught a 24-yard touchdown pass from Mitchell Sterner, and that is where we are at the half. Then it made it 35-7, and then the Orioles got a safety on what was a penalty in the end zone. We never did see what the penalty was, whether it was holding or what have you, but it did lead to a safety, and that is how we have our score at the half, 37-7 in favor of Avon. The Broncos, who won the opening toss, they elected to defer. They will get the ball to begin the second half. It has been Mitchell Sterner leading the Broncos primarily in this first half. Matt Johnson, their regular starting quarterback, started the first series. They kind of mixed both of them in the second series, and ever since then, Mitchell Sterner, after that touchdown pass to Austin Albrecht, he has been the starter under center, or at least in the gun, as the case for the Broncos, for Andy Kennedy's team. Darian Green, their outstanding tailback, he has been very limited by the Oriole defense in that first half, and now with the Broncos trailing by 30 points, it looks like they're going to be looking to put that ball in the air. Giving a kick is Alex Steffen, and he will kick this one deep, and what's been a pattern for the Orioles in the first half, trying to kick it short and away from Darian Green. This time, Steffen kicks it deep and puts it in the end zone.
Well, he showed he's got a leg there. That one just didn't make it to the end zone. It was pretty deep in the end zone.
So the Broncos will start this drive at their own 20-yard line, trailing 37-7. Mitchell Sterner will start the second half as they're going to send the original starting quarterback, Matt Johnson, into the slot to the near side. It is 4 wide out look for the Broncos with Darian Green behind Sterner in the pistol. The give is to Green. He will take it right up the middle and get one of his better runs of the night. He'll pick up about 4 yards on the opening play.
Well, this is the formation look that Lafayette Jeff traditionally is a little bit more known for. They'll either get in what we call a double slot, a wide double slot look with a wide receiver in a slot and a single back and a quarterback, or they'll get to a trips look where they'll put the 3 receivers to one side and leave a single wide receiver to the other. So they're kind of back to bread and butter this half.
In the pistol is Sterner, and again that 4 wide out look, both sides. Orioles show blitz. Sterner will roll out to his left. He'll look, and he'll be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. It is going to be Matt Thompson, the 5'11", 190-pound sophomore outside backer that'll get the sack.
Yeah, Matt, like I said earlier, Matt's very consistent, good hard-nosed kid, continues to get better. I think one of his strengths is the fact that he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's a good student of the game. He knows where he's supposed to be. He's a tough kid with a little speed, and you can just tell that, now that he's been out there for 4 or 5 games, he's just starting to play with a little bit more confidence every time he gets out on the field, and made a great play and a great open field tackle on that last play.
Looks like they have an equipment issue or something on the far sideline. It's a loss of 6. Actually, it's a Bronco down. He is out of just outside the out of bounds, but down on the ground around the 25-yard line. And from this distance, we cannot see who it is, but they're going to hold up play until they can tend to the young man. We'll take a quick timeout. 10:54 left to go, third quarter. Orioles up 37-7. This is Oriole football on ASO.
Right now at all Avon and Brownsburg McDonald's, you can check out the brand new Mighty Wings. Mighty Wings are hearty bone-in chicken wings that are crispy and breaded with a spicy kick. Available in 3-piece, 5-piece, or 10 pieces. A 3-piece is only $2.99 at all Avon and Brownsburg McDonald's.
Did not get the number of the young man, but he got up under his own power, and it is actually Mitchell Sterner, the quarterback, who was sacked by Matt Thompson, that was over there off the sidelines, and he will head to the sideline, and it will, I believe, Matt Johnson now will return as quarterback of the Broncos. So Sterner leaves after being hit hard on the sack, and Johnson's a quarterback. Quarterback draw, nothing doing.
Maybe a fumble.
Looked like the ball might be loose. They'll unpile as Johnson on a quarterback delay on a draw as he started to make his move toward the line of scrimmage. They're still fighting for it down on the field, and they'll say the Orioles came away with it. Not sure who's coming away with it. It is coming away with the football is Joe Belden. And the Orioles get a turnover on a fumble by Matt Johnson, and they'll have it deep in Bronco territory.
It's just been one of those nights. Whatever happens, you wish it happened more often, but right now everything that can happen good for Avon has happened. And, they first drive the second half from the 12-yard line. You can't hope for better than that.
So 1st and 10 from the Bronco 12 as Peters will work under the gun, pitch it to the right side. David Shaw kind of gets bogged down by his blockers. And finally, the Bronco defense is able to bring him down for a loss on the play.
Avon went unbalanced that time. The first half, there had been no adjustment, so they continued to run the strong side. There was an adjustment. They thought they could run back to the short side that time, but Lafayette Jeff played that last play pretty well.
Loss of a couple on the play back to the 14-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down and 12. Orioles moving right to left in this third quarter. They're on the right hash, and this time they'll go unbalanced left. Play action pass. Peters will try to elude the pressure, but finally he's going to be drugged down as coming in to make the tackle. As we take a look, it will be Irving Madden, the weak side safety, who came around, got around the block, and was able to chase Peters down.
Yeah, these are the kinds of things that Coach Bless, wants the kids to work on. Avon is ahead here comfortably, but, obviously when he comes that clean, somebody has either missed a block or missed an assignment. That's something that they're going to have to clean up, and I'm sure they'll take care of that in the morning.
Kimbrough in motion to the near side. Andrew Griffin is the wideout near side. Peters out of the gun. He will throw it back to the left. This is Matt Moore, the tight end. Gets around one block. Penalty flag thrown. And Moore is going to run into the end zone, but this one is likely coming back.
That's an illegal formation. He's an ineligible receiver. The wide receiver lined up on the line of scrimmage, which makes the tight end ineligible.
And we saw Andrew Griffin. He was initially back and then stepped up onto the line. So they're going to bring in all the officials to make sure about this one.
Well, one way or the other.
Ineligible man downfield is the
right, because he lined up on the line of scrimmage. But if he backed off the line of scrimmage, it would have been an ineligible formation anyway, because then they would have had 5 guys in the backfield. So either way, they were going to have a penalty called.
Well, Andrew Griffin, this is his second game on the offensive side of the ball. And the officials talking this one over, and I'm sure Coach Mark Bless is going to get the – well, that's illegal touching.
Yeah, because he's a lineman. It's called an illegal touch because the wide receiver covered him. That basically makes the tight end, for all intents and purposes, an offensive tackle.
It is a 5-yard penalty, but also loss of down, so it'll be 4th down. And they'll spot the ball back at the 26-yard line. They're going to bring Niles Edwards out to see if he can kick a long field goal. So the ball will be spotted at the 33. That's where they'll split the kick. It'll be a 43-yard kick for Niles Edwards. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and Niles Edwards nails it through from 43 yards out. So the Orioles turn the turnover into 3 points, and with 8:41 left to go third quarter, it is 40-7. And it's a 43-yard field goal, and the Orioles lead 40-7. Back with a kick after this is Oriole football on ASL.
Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcast. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone is 317-243-2372, and they are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com.
Niles Edwards nails a 43-yard field goal, and with 8:41 left to go third quarter, Avon extends their advantage to 40-7. They take advantage of the turnover to put some points on the board, and now Alex Steffen, he's going to nail this one back. It's going to bounce at the 2 as Darian Green thought about maybe trying to catch that football, but instead let it bounce, and it'll go through the end zone. And Alex Steffen, who is kicking off in this contest, kicked it short in the first half, and now with a big lead, Coach Bless letting him air out that leg of his, and second time he's put it in the end zone for a touchback.
Well, there's some positives. You hate to see the touchdown taken off the board, but when you kick a 43-yard field goal, that's a real positive. That sends a message to your own kids that, once you get down there in that 30-yard line area, you're within range, and it also sends a message to your opponents down the road.
Matt Johnson remains the quarterback here as Darian Green eludes one tackle, and he will make it up to about the 24-yard line, a pickup of 4. So, of course, there'll be some, as Coach would say, teaching moments on that penalty that brought back the touchdown, as whether it's a formation or whoever, they're going to be looking over that in the film and make sure they get that taken care of before McCutcheon next week.
Yeah, didn't cost them tonight, but that's the kind of mental error that's going to have to be fixed down the road.
Second down at 6 for the Broncos as they check over the sideline, and now all sorts of confusion, and the Broncos will call a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. 8:03 left to go, third quarter. Orioles up 40-7. This is Avon Football on Audio Sports Online.
Tune in to XRBRadio.com every Friday at 5:30 for the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show. Join me, Brian Scott, for a full hour as I interview coaches and student athletes from Brownsburg and Avon High Schools. You can also watch the taping in person at a McDonald's near you every Wednesday night. Check out the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show broadcast page at xrbradio.com or audiosportsonline.com for store locations.
If you're a business owner with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. Is it being prepared correctly? Are the right amount of taxes being taken out? What about child support, workman's comp, auditing, unemployment, Social Security, local taxes, payroll deductions? It can be a bit overwhelming, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated. We'll take care of all those payroll headaches and manage any unique deductions that apply to your company. We offer several ways to submit your payroll and provide you with customized timesheets for reporting. The Payroll Department Incorporated, located at 701 North Green Street in Brownsburg.
Kyle Hughes will take the pitch from Matt Johnson, and he will have it very, very close to what would be needed for a first down, and they say he has the first down as they'll spot the nose of the football right on the 20-yard line. Hughes into the game. He's a 5'10", 160-pound sophomore, listed as a linebacker and an H-back, but now at the tailback position, Darian Green has been rather ineffective tonight. Whether that has anything to do with the ankle injury he suffered last week against Brownsburg, we will not know, but they have finally taken Green out, and they bring in the sophomore. Here's a read option. Johnson wanted to go to his left, saw there was nothing there, brought it back to the right, and is able to pick up about 7.
Actually made a very nice run. There wasn't a whole lot there. The original hole, the original spot where he was supposed to run was covered, and he just showed some athletic ability, breaking it back to the weak side. In fact, I see the Avon coaches a little bit upset that the backside people that should have been there left their position and allowed that 5 or 6 yard gain.
Well, it is Johnson now down on the field as he might be having a cramp. It is a warm, muggy night here in Avon, and if that is the case, he's going to have to leave. We haven't seen Mitchell Sterner, who came in to be their quarterback in about the first quarter, and that's going to make things very interesting for Andy Kennedy. Brandon Golick was who he elected to bring in last week against the Bulldogs on several occasions. Mitchell Sterner was listed as the backup, but Sterner, we haven't seen him since he took that sack against Matt Thompson. And right now, Matt Johnson, they're helping him up. Looked like he might have had a bit of a cramp. Again, a very warm, muggy night. If you would have told us we were going to have this kind of night in the first Friday of October, we'd probably say we'd take it. We might see a shower. Hopefully we won't see any lightning, but the Lightning has been supplied by the Avon Orioles in this game. They lead 40-7 with 7:10 left to go in the quarter. Alongside the Indiana Football Hall of Famer Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott, and we will see who they've got back there. It is Calvin Green that will be under center. He will give it to the tailback, Kyle Hughes. So Andy Kennedy kind of running out of players at this point.
My guess is Coach Kennedy right now, what he wants to do is not get anybody hurt, run the clock, get back on the bus, lick his wounds, make some corrections, and get ready for next week.
It is Calvin Green, a 5'10", 145-pound sophomore. He has been kicking. He is also listed on the depth chart as a wide receiver and a defensive back, and now he gets to play quarterback as he will have Hughes behind him. And now, as you might expect, some confusion. Penalty flags come flying all over the place as young man will go down after a loss and a lot of confusion on the play. And it's a face mask, personal foul face mask against Avon. So what would have been fourth down is going to give the Broncos a first down.
And, these are the kinds of things that I was talking about at halftime that, the Avon coaching staff, you really can't be upset with the way we played tonight, but these are the little things that you look to clean up as the season goes on. And a game like tonight, it's not going to hurt them. I heard you use the term, and I thought it was a great teaching moment. I'm sure that will be a teaching moment in the morning as well.
That penalty moved the ball all the way into Oriole territory. Spot the ball at the Avon 48-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Broncos as Calvin Green, and this one will go nowhere as they'll stop this play dead in its tracks, and an illegal procedure penalty against the Broncos. Well, the young sophomore who, unfortunately, I cannot tell you whether he has thrown a pass for the Broncos this season. Again, we saw Brandon Gaulick last week. Mitchell Sterner has been in this game, so this is the fourth quarterback we've seen from the Broncos in now 2 weeks. And he will now find himself in a 1st and 15 with the ball back now in Bronco territory at the 47-yard line. They will still run, though, a 4-wide look with Green in the pistol, with Hughes behind him. Green will drop back. He'll fire a strike out to the left, and that pass is going to be dropped. Austin Albrecht on the far sideline. And
for a third-string quarterback, that was a long throw to his left, put it right on the money. Under a little bit of pressure, and to have the receiver drop the ball, I'm sure, is a little bit demoralizing.
For the Broncos, they saw some of that last week against the Bulldogs. As a matter of fact, they had a touchdown, a surefire touchdown, slipped right through the hands of their wide receiver, Tim Wilson. And again, the drops for the receiving corps continue for Coach Kennedy and the Broncos, and it'll be 2nd and 15. Green will take the pass. He'll fire again. He'll look downfield, looking at the seam. He was looking for Austin Albrecht. That ball was a duck down the field. Albrecht was wide open, but Ryan Bradley, because of the pass, was able to close in and make a play on the ball and break it up.
Yeah, had him open for a split second. That's where you can tell it's not the regular quarterback, because the timing wasn't good. By the time he realized how wide open he was, it gave the Ryan Bradley, the free safety, a chance to make up ground and knock that ball down.
So it'll be 3rd down and 15 for the Broncos. 5:19 left to go in this third quarter. Avon up big. This game so far has never been in doubt after about 4 minutes into the first quarter. It is 40-7 in favor of the Orioles. Green back to pass, looks, fires downfield, leaves it up, and a good try on the adjustment by the wide receiver over on that far side, Austin Albrecht. He was looking for a ball over to the sidelines. He had to adjust to it coming to the inside and almost made the play. Pass drops incomplete. It will be 4th down, and now Green will put on his punter shoe and drop back as David Griffith will stand back at around his own 18-yard line. Green will get this one away, and an end-over-end kick bounces at the 25. Griffith will take it at his 18 up to the 30, to the 35, and down to about the 37-yard line. And Avon will have it 1st and 10 at their own 36, 37-yard line with 5:05 left to go. Third quarter up big as they are over the Broncos by the score of 40-7. So let's see who the Orioles will keep. Brandon Peters out on the field to begin this drive. He'll have David Shaw and Thomas Hicks as Peters will work out of the gun, and now a timeout defensively called by the Broncos. We'll take a timeout as well. 5:05 left to go third quarter. Back after this. This is Oriole Football on Audio Sports Online.
Sweet Treats of Avon is closed for remodeling until November 7th. That's when it will reopen under a new look and new name, Chicago's Pizza Express. They're located at Dan Jones and Rockville Road behind CVS Pharmacy in Avon. Find out more on November 7th when Sweet Treats opens up as the new Chicago's Pizza Express. Same great owners, but a whole new look and new menu. We'd like to say thanks to our friends at the Hendricks County Flyer that have helped make tonight's video webcast possible. Please check them out online as well as watch tonight's game at flyergroup.com. We'd also like to thank Citywide Paving for their support of Avon football and our Avon football broadcast this year. Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health provides care for the way you were meant to move. We care for every muscle, bone, and joint in your body to get you back to the activities you love. Get more information online at mymotion360.org.
Out of the timeout, David Shaw will run it around
Did you know that Nelson Jewelers and
right side, and he will pick up about 11 yards on the play. As the Broncos, who took a timeout defensively, well, they come out of the timeout and give up a 12-yard run to David Shaw. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Orioles at their own 48-yard line. Orioles move right to left here in this third quarter. Up 40-7. Clock moves. 4:43 left to go in the quarter. Give us to Shaw. This time he looks for some room around the left side from the 45 down to the 40. He picks up about 11 yards on the play. And in two quick runs by David Shaw, the Orioles are quickly into Bronco territory. Desmond Williams with the tackle for the Broncos. As we have another Bronco down on the field. And that looks to be A.J. Farmer, their weak side linebacker. So another Bronco down, and we'll take a timeout as they tend to the young man with 4:35 left to go in the quarter. Avon up 40-7.
Did you know that Nelson Jewelers in Brownsburg has been serving Hendricks County and the west side of Indianapolis with an extensive selection of finer diamonds and gemstones since 1958? Nelson Jewelers is a family-owned jewelry store specializing in unique jewelry, jewelry repair, appraisals, and watch repair. Nelson Jewelers is conveniently located in downtown Brownsburg, across from the Hendricks County Bank. Visit Nelson Jewelers for all your jewelry needs at 22 East Main Street in Brownsburg and online at www.nelsonjewelers.com. Nelson Jewelers, a little out of the way, very much out of the ordinary.
Alongside the Indiana Football Hall of Famer Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. A.J. Farmer went to the sideline under his own power, and the Orioles have it 1st and 10 at the Bronco 40-yard line. Broncos show blitz. They give us to Derek Tennant. He finds some room around the right side and bowls over a couple of Broncos for a pickup of about 6 on the play down to the Bronco 34-yard line. So a pickup of 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Ball just inside the 34-yard line. As the clock marches at 3:52 remaining in this third quarter. Cress Kimbrough to the far side of the field. It'll be Andrew Griffin to the near side. Hicks and Tennant behind Peters, who works under center. Play action pass. Peter dropped back. Fires downfield. Looking deep. Has Cress Kimbrough. And it's a 34-yard touchdown strike. Brandon Peters to Cress Kimbrough.
Yeah. Play action again, beautiful fake, good protection, perfect throw to a wide open receiver, 40-yard downfield. So everything that you needed to do right on that play, the Avon offense did.
Second big long touchdown pass from Peters to Kimbrough in the game, and Niles Edwards on for the point after. Edwards with the kick. It's up. It's good. 3:32 remains in this third quarter, and Avon extends their lead 47-7. Back with a kick right after this. This is Oriole football on ASL.
Legends Pub and Grill is located at 1100 North State Road 267 in Avon. They're open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. and on Sunday from noon to midnight. They're Indy's West Side hotspot, having a DJ and dancing on Saturday nights. For more information, check Legends Pub and Grill out on Facebook or call 272-9040.
The Avon Orioles get a 34-yard touchdown pass. Brandon Peters to Cress Kimbrough. Niles Edwards' point after is good. And the Orioles extend their lead over the Broncos of Lafayette Jefferson by the score of 47-7. It's been offense, it's been defense, it's been special teams. Take your pick. Everything's worked well tonight for Mark Bless and the Avon Orioles.
It's been a good game for the Orioles all the way around. They've done what they needed to do. One jump ball on defense for the one touchdown really was pretty well defended. The defense has played extremely well. The special teams have played well, and the offense has moved the football both running and passing. So overall, you'd have to say it's a pretty good all-around game for Avon.
Matt Johnson is the Bronco that was there to return that football. So Darian Green's night is likely done if they've put Johnson back to return kicks. And we'll see who they elect to have as quarterback. Looks like Johnson, who briefly left the game for a few plays due to what looked like cramps, is going to stay back as the Bronco quarterback to begin this drive. He will still have in the backfield Kyle Hughes, so Darian Green's night is obviously done for Coach Kennedy and the Broncos. As Johnson takes the snap, gives to Hughes, he will plow up the middle, and Hughes not a very big back. He will remind you maybe of Tywan Johnson, rather small, but looks like he explodes through the hole very quickly. So it'll bring up second down and about 6. The ball at the 24-yard line. Clock moving down to the 3-minute mark left to go in the third quarter. As the Broncos, who we have seen work a no-huddle offense, obviously looking to, just as Coach said, kind of get on the bus and get out of here. Back to passes. Johnson fires, looking for Austin Albrecht. That pass was well short.
Yeah, part of the problem is you feel like you have to throw to try to make things respectable, and all that does is lengthen the game because every time you have an incomplete pass, it stops the clock. So, you've got the pride factor here. They still want to play well. They still want to put some points up on the board. They still want to play this last quarter as well as they can play it, but at the same time, by doing that, it makes that trip home a lot later and a lot longer.
It'll be third down and 6 for the Broncos. Johnson on the pitch to Hughes, looking for some room the near side, and he's looked like he might have gotten just enough for the first down. Kyle Hughes on a nice run. He's going to be brought down by Matt Thompson, but not before Hughes is able to pick up the first down and move the chains for the Broncos. Hughes giving the Broncos a little bit of explosiveness out of the tailback position, something they were not able to get out of Darian Green. Again, Green was injured last week against Brownsburg. He had an ankle injury. He only played what was probably the equivalent of a quarter, and he was very ineffective tonight. And Coach Kennedy has looked to put the sophomore back at tailback. Johnson back to pass. Fires down the middle. It's picked off. Reading it all the way and running it back is David Griffith, his second pick of the night. And Matt Johnson might as well have been throwing it to the 6'1", 195-pound senior on a rope. And Griffith returns it all the way back to around the 16-yard line.
Well, that's his second, and like the earlier one, even though he didn't take this all the way, it was like the ball was being thrown to him. He took it in stride. For a second there, it looked like he may take it all the way, but another big play by David Griffith. He just continues to make them game after game.
Griffith's third interception of the season.
Richie Steinmetz in a quarterback now for Avon.
It is Richie Steinmetz now in at quarterback. The give is up the middle. Derek Tennant gets the ball as the 6'5", 210-pound senior. Richie Steinmetz takes over for Brandon Peters, who had, let's just say, a very nice night. He did throw one interception, but for the most part, he has played outstanding here tonight.
Well, it's nice to see Richie get an opportunity to play. They competed right up to the last minute for the starting job. Richie is an extremely bright student, looking to go to Purdue or Rose-Hulman for engineering. He's a nice athlete, basketball player as well, and he's got an outstanding arm.
Broncos show blitz. Here's Tennant. Tries to cut it back, cuts it and finds a hole, and that's all Derek Tennant. As Tennant makes 2 yards out of nothing. and moves the ball down to the 10-yard line. Approaching the 1 minute mark left to go in this third quarter. Avon, as they have been all game long, well out in front, 47-7. And now starting to shuttle some other players in and out for Coach Mark Bless. Nick Aitchen will be a wide out to the far side. And Sam Bloom will come to the near side. Hicks and Tennant in an eye behind senior quarterback Richie Steinmetz. Steinmetz pitches to Tennant. Tennant cuts it in, tries to look for some more room, cuts it back in further.
Looks like enough for the first down, but it'll be short of the goal line.
It will be a first down as Derek Tennant looked like there was a cornerback coming in. He sidestepped him, then made another cut up and got it down to the 5, inside the 5-yard line, where will be first and goal for Avon. And 26 seconds remain. The Orioles will have to run one more play here in the third quarter. Steinmetz has the play from the sideline. Sam Bloom to the far side. Nick Aitchen to the near side. Hicks and Tennant in the eye behind Richie Steinmetz. This will be the final play of the third quarter. The pitch is to Derek Tennant. Looks for some room around the left side. Takes it in and into the end zone for the touchdown. Derek Tennant from, let's call it 5 yards out, caps it off as the Orioles turn the turnover into points and extend their lead to 53-7. And Niles Edwards, with the clock showing zeros, will attempt the point after. This is Alex Steffen that's actually going to kick the point after. He has been handling the kickoff duties tonight for the Orioles. And he gets this one away, and the point after is good. And that's how the third quarter ends here at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium. The Avon Orioles all over Lafayette Jefferson by the score of 54-7. We'll be back with a kickoff and fourth quarter right after these messages. You're watching Avon Oriole football on Audio Sports Online.
Established in 1882 as Harris Bank and owned by BMO Financial Group since 1984, BMO Harris Bank has grown to become one of the largest banks in the Midwest, serving personal, commercial, and affluent customers. They're located at 7503 Beechwood Center Road in Avon. For more information, call them at 272-5650. McNamara Florist is Indy's hometown florist since 1954, with 8 convenient locations, including the new Avon store on Rockville Road. McNamara Florist is famous for our floral designs for all occasions that help our clients express their emotions through flowers. Visit McNamara Florist for outstanding personal service and to select from the renowned home decor merchandising, including stunning Christmas classics. McNamara Florist is located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon, and you can give them a call at 579-7900.
Alongside the Indiana Football Hall of Famer Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. We begin the fourth quarter with the Orioles kicking off after the touchdown. They lead 54-7. Johnson will take it on a bounce at his 6. He'll cut up to the 15, to the 20, and he'll run into the Orioles right there at around the 20, just past the 20-yard line. And that is actually Woody Archibald that made that run. So let's see who Coach Andy Kennedy brings out at quarterback here. They've gone through Matt Johnson. They've gone through Mitchell Sterner. They've gone through Calvin Green. And let's see who is next. It is going to be Matt Johnson that will take over as the ball is spotted at the 21-yard line. With 11:51 left to go in this game, well in hand for Avon. They lead 54-7. Johnson will have Hughes behind him in the pistol. They'll give it to Kyle Hughes. He'll go up the middle, break a tackle to the 25, to the 30, and finally drugged down from behind by Ryan Bradley, but not before Kyle Hughes gets a pickup of about 15, 16 yards.
Yeah, Avon is subbing a little bit out here tonight. They've got some of their backup players kind of sprinkled in there with some of their starters. So, it's good to get these kids that work hard during practice and throughout the season a little bit of playing time out here on Friday nights.
1st and 10, Broncos. Ball at their own 37-yard line. They'll go into a 4 wide out look. Hughes behind Johnson. They'll give it to Kyle Hughes. Hughes will be met at about the point of attack, might get a yard. And
yeah, Ryan Kelly, number 55 on the tackle, at least on the first hit.
They'll give Hughes a pickup of 2, and it'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Broncos, as Coach said, Coach Andy Kennedy, just really wanting now to wind this clock down. Game has been well in hand since about midway through the first quarter, and now the Orioles with a 54-7 lead. They will stay with a 3 wide out and a wingback look as Johnson takes the snap, drops back, gets pressure from the backside, and he'll be sacked. Coming in and making the play for the Avon Orioles is Brody Good, 5'9", 170-pound sophomore, and he gets the sack. No small feat, as quick as Matt Johnson is, and it's a loss all the way back to the 30-yard line.
Brody's another one of my former 7th grade players. When I gave up the head coaching, I went and coached 7th grade for a couple of years and had Brody down there with a nice group of kids at South my first year out.
So the loss puts the ball back at the Bronco 30-yard line, where they'll have 3rd and 16 as we get ready to approach the 10-minute mark in the 4th quarter. Johnson will now pitch to Hughes. Hughes is just going to run smack dab into Brody Good once again. And it's going to bring up 4th down for Lafayette Jefferson. David Griffith back as Calvin Green gets ready to punt this ball away. Green will stand back at his own 15. Griffith is going to retreat to about his own 33-yard line. And now Broncos late getting a player on, as they may still be missing somebody.
They are, they're short one.
And it's a high snap, and they are just able to get this one away. It'll bounce, and Woody Archibald is going to come in, and very fortunate. The punter, Calvin Green, knew that he was in trouble, but they were close to having this one blocked as well, but he gets it away and gets a nice roll out of it as well, so he's going to get a nice added to his net yardage as the ball will be down at about the Oriole 18-yard line, and Avon will have it 1st and 10 at their own 18 with 9:02 remaining in this football game, leading the Broncos 54-7. We'll keep an eye on who comes in where, as now the Orioles have Parker Munger as a wide out to the near side, and we got a new quarterback in for the Avon Orioles. As the pitch comes near side, that's Tywan Johnson, eludes one tackler, is able to get another couple of yards up to about the 22-yard line.
A lot of new faces out there, and again, this is a good time. It's good to get those kids in, give them some experience. You know, every now and then you find a player that kind of stands out on a Friday night and can help you down the road. And if nothing else, these kids will come to practice next week with a whole better attitude.
We'd like to tell you who the quarterback is.
Davian Porter.
Davian Porter. He is wearing the same number as Alex Steffen, and you can tell this is one of the JV players because he doesn't even have a name on the back of his jersey. But he is in at quarterback. For the Avon Orioles, and he will have a 3rd down and 4. Clock continues to move, 7:56 left to go in the football game, as once again to the near side is Parker Munger, as Porter will work this time out of the gun. Broncos show blitz. High snap. They give it to Johnson. Johnson finds some room around the left side up to the 30, 35, 40, 45, and is finally knocked out of bounds on the far sideline. And now the Broncos also using some subs. We've even got some guys that we don't even have numbers to names for. So Pardon us if we don't get names and numbers here, as both teams now subbing freely with 7:36 left to go in the fourth quarter, and this game well in hand. Ball will be spotted at the Oriole 45-yard line. Davian Porter in at quarterback, third quarterback used by Mark Bless in this contest.
No, 13-12 Greyhounds.
And they will bring it to the near side. Tywan Johnson will once again get the carry, and he'll pick up about 5 yards up to the 49-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 5 for the Orioles.
Yeah, just got an update on the Carmel-Warren Central game. Carmel's up 13-12.
So the MIC is doing what we expected. The last score we heard between Ben Davis and Center Grove, it was all tied up at 13. That was after Ben Davis had jumped out in front 13-0. Other action, we are still looking for some scores for some of the Hoosier Crossroads Conference games, as Davian Porter will bend to under center this time. They'll give it to Johnson. Johnson tries to spin away, and he will actually get up and make a yard out of nothing, and he will take it maybe just beyond the midfield stripe into Bronco territory, a pickup of a couple. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4. Clock continues to march, 6:35 left to go, fourth quarter, as Johnson heads to the sideline. Shane Dillahay will return to the lineup as we will have an official's timeout. Coming to the near side for the Orioles was going to be Sully Brown. Also, Cole Rightly will work the slot come near side. 3rd down and 4 for Avon as Davian Porter works out of the gun. Long count. Porter takes the snap. He'll give the give. And coming up and being met and driven back, the tackle made by number 46, and let's leave it at that. Did not see who had the carry for the Orioles. Again, a lot of new faces now in the game, but it's a pickup of only a yard or two, and that'll bring up 4th down, and the Orioles will punt. Might have been Shane Dillahay that actually got the carry in that play. And he was met and driven back, and Niles Edwards on to punt. We've Woody Archibald back deep for the Broncos. High snap, Edwards, rugby-style kick, gets it away, low end-over-end kick, it bounces, and picking it up is Woody Archibald, and he's going to be drilled about the time he picks up the ball at his own 14-yard line, and the Broncos will have the football. They are trailing 54-7, 5:13 left to go in the football game. They'll start this drive at their own 16-yard line. As both teams now heavy substitutions. Know that the Orioles are in black and the Broncos are in white. And we'll try to give you names and numbers as we can figure them out. Orioles 1st and 10. This is Johnson that's the quarterback, and on a slot sweep coming over the near side is Austin Albrecht. He'll pick up about 4 yards on the carry, just outside the 20 to the 21-yard line. It'll be 2nd down at about 6. Clock under 5 minutes in this fourth quarter, and the Orioles, who will find themselves on the plus side of the ledger column when this game is said and done, they'll have a record of 4-3. As Johnson will keep it himself, and he will run smack dab into an Oriole defender. As being tackled, Ryan Kelly, A.J. Alcock both in on the play for the Orioles, and it'll bring up 3rd down and about 3. Avon will move, as I mentioned, to 4-3, and they will make their final trip to Lafayette as a football team when they take on McCutcheon. Of course, the 3 Lafayette schools will be dropped from the Hoosier Crossroads Conference after this season. Here is Johnson with the keeper, and he's going to be once again brought down. A.J. Elcock and others, but Johnson's going to be able to get the first down for the Lafayette Jefferson Broncos. Next week, the final trip to Lafayette. The Orioles so far this season 2-2 against the Lafayette schools. Big wins against Harrison and big wins here against Lafayette Jefferson. They will face a much tougher opponent next week against the Mavericks of McCutcheon. Before wrapping up the regular season right back here at Avon against the Zionsville Eagles. Here's a give to Hughes. He'll plow up the middle and pick up a couple of yards up to about the 30-yard line before he's brought down, and that just keeps the clock moving. 3:18 left to go in the football game.
And at this point, that's what everyone wants.
This game has not been in doubt since really midway through the first quarter. The Orioles, much like they did against Noblesville, except in much quicker fashion, got the big play strike to score on their first possession of the game, and then an interception return for a touchdown, a block kick. Here's Matt Johnson on the end around the right side, eludes one tackle before it was left up to Zach Batustik to run him out of bounds. It'll be a first down for the Broncos. They'll play at McCutcheon next week and then return home the following week to end the regular season against the Zionsville Eagles. And then next Sunday we will find out who the Orioles will open sectional play with, as they will have the IHSAA tournament sectional draw next Sunday. Here's the pitch. This is Hughes coming around the near side. And he's going to be met and popped out of bounds, or near out of bounds.
Great hustle that play by Zach Batustak, playing one of the linebacker spots, ran that play down from behind and made the tackle.
Gain was to the Oriole 48-yard line. It will be second down and about 4 yards to go. Clock moving, 2:17 remaining in this football game. And as Coach said, this is going to be a very long bus ride back home for Jeff. As Johnson, play action, fires, looking downfield, has a man, and it's Austin Albrecht with the catch.
Beautiful throw, and nice catch downfield. And yes, it is against some of the backup kids for Avon, but still a well-executed play, very nicely thrown ball, and nice catch.
Actually, for the Broncos, they had Albrecht and Tim Wilson both in the same area. And Albrecht came down with the football. It'll be first and goal for the Broncos at the Oriole 9-yard line. 1:52 remains in the game. Game not in doubt, 54-7 in favor of the Orioles. Johnson gives it to Hughes. Hughes tries to tunnel under, and he will be brought down after a short gain. And once again, Batustak with the tackle. The ball is at the 5-yard line of Avon as the clock continues to move. 1:27 remains in this fourth quarter. We will be back next week from McCutcheon. We'll have video of that game. Yours truly will have the call. The pregame show at 6:45 and a kickoff between the Orioles and the Mavericks at 7 o'clock. Johnson will give it to Hughes. Hughes looks for some room, and he's going to be bowled over and buried under. Tackle made by Dakota Carlton, a 5'7", 195-pound defensive lineman. And it's going to make a third and goal from the 4-yard line. We are 50 seconds left to go in this football game. Should mention that the Broncos do have a timeout remaining. We'll see if Coach Kennedy wants to try to get a touchdown before they get out of here. Johnson with the keeper, nice play fake, and he's going to run around the left end and in for the touchdown from 4 yards out. So Johnson on the zone read, put it into the belly of Kyle Hughes and then pulled it out, found out he had plenty of room around the left end and takes it in from about 3 yards out. 4 yards out, I should say. And with 31 seconds remaining, They are looking for somebody to hold the football on the point after, and they're going to send Austin Albrecht out there, a wide receiver. So the man with the best hands right now is going to hold the ball, and he comes out, does a fine job, and Eric King puts it in. So Albrecht had the nice catch and the nice hands on the long reception, and when they don't have a holder, he just simply runs in and holds it for Coach Andy Kennedy. And
might be driving the bus home.
He might be driving the bus home before all is said and done, because when you look, if you want to look at some bright spots, if you're Coach Andy Kennedy, Austin Albrecht has to be one of them. He had a pretty nice game on the chances that he got to touch the football. Other than that, it's going to be a long bus ride home for these Lafayette Jefferson Broncos. Not much went right. There was very few things to go wrong for Avon tonight. There'll be a couple of, as Coach Shelburne would say, some teaching moments out of this game, but all in all, it's going to be a very, very happy group that is going to enjoy homecoming festivities, I would say, immensely tonight.
There's also going to be some guys at the film thing tomorrow that are going to actually pay a little bit more attention than they might on a normal basis, because there's a lot of kids tonight getting their first varsity action. This would be a great memory for a lot of these kids. Some of these kids that maybe don't get a whole lot of playing time got an opportunity to contribute to a homecoming victory out here tonight.
Getting ready to kick this ball away is Alex Baker. 54-14 after the Matt Johnson touchdown run and point after, and a 40-point win for the Avon Orioles. 31 seconds remain in this contest, and they will kick this one deep. And taking it is Kimbrough at his 8. He'll cut it to the 25, and he'll finally be driven back after taking it to about the 20-yard line, and the Orioles will just have to snap the ball once, and this football game will be over. Again, a whole lot went right. Nothing for the Orioles. And for Andy Kennedy, the Broncos, same can't be said. And just about everything that could go wrong did for the Broncos. Orioles got points off of offense, defense, special teams. They ran the ball well. They threw the ball well. A couple of touchdown passes for Brandon Peters to Cress Kimbrough. Touchdown run by Derek Tennant. David Griffith with an interception return for a touchdown. Nick Hanlon with a blocked punt for a touchdown. You name it, the Orioles did it, and it's going to be a very, very happy group of Avon Orioles that head to midfield to wish the Broncos well in their final meeting ever as Hoosier Crossroads Conference opponents. And as the final seconds tick off, the Avon Orioles will win this football game by the score of 54-14. Coach, there's not a whole lot we can really say about this game that we haven't spent the last 3.5 quarters really talking about. So final thoughts as the Orioles go for their final road game of the regular season to McCutcheon next week.
Well, you know, for Avon, you take this win, but really they're looking forward. You know, they might go in, they're going to fast forward this game tomorrow, and, you know, they've got a big game next week on the road with McCutcheon. You know, again, it's the final week before a 2-week break, so they're going to have to start prepping the kids and talking to the kids a little bit about how they're going to handle that. They have the end of this season game with Zionsville that, you know, even though that's not the game they're going to prepare for, they are going to probably take a peek and make sure they're ready for that. And like you mentioned, you get the sectional draw. So you take the good out of tonight. You got a lot of people in there. You got out of this game healthy. You executed pretty well on, you know, in all 3 phases of the game. But I'm sure the focus is going to be on the future, in particular the McCutcheon game next week.
One thing for the Orioles, they now find themselves on the other side, on the good side of the 500 mark for the first time this season. Couldn't come at a better time than at homecoming here at Hendricks Regional Health Stadium as they defeat the Lafayette Jefferson Broncos by the score of 54-14. Our next broadcast will be next Friday as I will be joining you, Coach Shelburne, not with me next week, but I'll have all the action of Avon Oriole football as the Orioles make their final road trip of the regular season when they travel to take on the McCutcheon Mavericks. Pregame show will be at 6:45, and the kickoff between the Orioles and the you see, I've already lost track of myself. The Mavericks is at 7 o'clock. Tonight's broadcast of Avon Varsity Football has been brought to you by McDonald's, a Hendricks County Flyer, Reynolds Body Shop, Legends Pub and Grill, McNamara Florist, the Payroll Department, Avon BMO Harris Bank, and Citywide Paving. Once again, your final score. Avon defeats Lafayette Jefferson by the score of 54-14. For the coach, Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott saying thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week at McCutcheon. Until then, so long, everybody.